Podcastio status.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right. Did you really not have anything?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so that was
that was just like, oh shit, I have to think of a thing.
Okay. Well, I guess they'll know from the thumbnail, won't they?
Yes.
That's relevant.
Well, it's a nice, even so, it's a nice little teaser before we just tell them what's coming up in like 2 minutes' time.
If you're going to cultivate any spell, could it be to end the podcast rather than start it?
I suppose it should be, shouldn't it? But no, you use spells to conjure.
Podcastio abbreviatum. Podcastio abbreviatum.
Podcastio less than 4 hours, oh.
Yes, exactly.
Hello and welcome to the Funfiltered podcast. This is the 47th episode?
Think so.
Okay, I'm Jordan. I'm joined as always by Sam.
Hello.
Should we just do what's coming up in the...
Sure.
Just jump straight to it.
Preamble.
Yeah.
All right.
Tease you a little bit, now we'll kill all suspense.
Yes.
Coming up in today's episode.
An update on Travon Free and Israel and Palestine somehow.
An update on the Derek Chauvin trial.
The Gelded Globes.
Our review of Minari.
Jordan has a question about a cow.
And we review every Harry Potter film.
Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
The Chamber of Secrets.
Prisoner of Azkaban.
Goblet of Fire.
Order of the Phoenix.
Half-Blood Prince.
Deathly Hallows Part 1.
And Deathly Hallows Part 2.
And then we do a summary of the whole mess. What do you want to talk about first, George?
Well, just, I don't know, what was the first thing we said in the coming up?
Oh, yeah. Continuity.
That coming up that we definitely just did,
should we talk? Well, I think there's a few things that we can revisit from the last episode.
Okay.
First being Travon Free.
Okay.
Do you want to quickly remind listeners of who he is?
Oh, yes. So the film that won Best Live Action Short at the Oscars was called Two Distant Strangers. It was basically about this black guy who keeps getting killed by a cop. He's stuck in a time loop and he ends up getting killed by this cop every single time.
Yeah.
Obviously this metaphorical analogy, blah, 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 for...
why didn't that occur to me last week? Maybe because it's something I shouldn't say on the podcast.
What?
Groundhog Day.
Oh, right.
Maybe
not, yeah.
Maybe.
We'll think about whether that's staying in or not.
Everyone, don't you think that though? If you think of like, oh, it's this premise, but with this twist, the first thing your mind does is to try and think of a pun.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So what else is it going to be?
Dangerous territory to try and think of a pun though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because all of like the other words you could use, there are so many words that you could use for black people that are just not okay.
No.
Most of them are not okay.
Yeah.
Like, we're not even sure if black is okay, you know?
No, it is if you capitalize it.
Right, okay.
Yeah, is any word for black people acceptable other than black? Or like at a stretch now African American?
I really don't know.
All the other ones are considered derogatory at this point, right?
Pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah. No informal, like Ebonic and all that sort of thing.
Yeah,
you can't do that anymore.
You can't, no.
Okay.
But yes, anyway, so the film was that, and one of the writers was Travon Free. I think he directed it as well.
I think so, yeah.
And I brought it to the podcast's attention because a Asian woman named Cynthia Cow posted something on her TikTok the day after it won, basically saying, look, I made this film 4 years ago called Groundhog Day for a Black Man.
Yeah.
And just after George Floyd was killed, Now This, which are like the social media news, quote-unquote news company, messaged her saying, can we share the video on our platform? And then a year after that, Two Distant Strangers came out, and Now This were listed as one of the producers.
Yes.
And Cynthia Cow her name was nowhere near Two Distant Strangers. So it's this question of, was the film plagiarized?
Yeah. I mean, almost certainly, right?
Yeah. When I brought it to the attention, I said that this claim was literally made yesterday as of time of recording, so I don't know what's going to happen to it. Nothing became of it.
No, I looked it up and it was basically what you told me.
Yeah.
So yeah, nothing that hasn't developed.
No.
But I looked up Travon Free, and prior to making that film, he wrote for The Daily Show, I think, right, with Jon Stewart.
I brought that up as well.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about just potential reasons why they would have kept her out of it.
Yeah.
And we sort of said that, maybe it's because it's part of that, segregation of art, which is something that we've complained about before. It's black people should tell black stories. A white person or an Asian person, you can't tell a black story.
It depends the lens through which you want to view it.
Yeah.
Israel-Palestine is currently happening again.
It is, yeah.
And like the whole thing, we were kind of, you know, I know the For Dummies version of Israel-Palestine. You didn't know that.
I didn't know that, no.
You knew they were enemies, basically.
I was below a dummy.
Yeah, so we were sub-dummy. So we're like, should we just see if there's a 10-minute quick history of Israel-Palestine, just so we can get the basics? And pretty much all of the videos, the whole situation was viewed through the prism of power. The first thing they all said was, theology is irrelevant.
Right.
This isn't a religious
Okay.
dispute. That has no place in it, which of course it does.
Yeah.
An ethnic or religious, there's loads of things going into it. But you can't say religion has no part to play in it. But that's because the people who were making the videos were leftists who were trying to kind of educate you through the lens of power.
Yeah.
It's all about power. Israel are the kind of the bad guys and Palestine are
Israel is one of the biggest military states in the world, and Palestine just has some sticks and twigs.
Right. I've been seeing that meme a lot. Have you seen it where it's the chart and it's like Israel, this many soldiers, Palestine, 0 official soldier, stuff like that. And it's basically Palestine 0, Israel thousands or whatever.
Yeah.
As though it's not a sport.
No.
It's not just like, oh, we've got to compete 2 teams against each other.
Yeah.
Oh, this one has an unfair advantage. It is the equivalent of flying a plane into 2 buildings and going, terrorists, they have no infrastructure. The United States does. This is an unfair match.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just, you've been attacked and now you sort it out. There's no, I'm not saying Israel is America in that analogy necessarily. Like, it's a very, very complicated issue.
To some people, it is, though. That's part of the problem.
To most people, it is, yeah. Because Palestine is Rocky and America is Apollo Creed.
Yeah. Like, I've seen videos where you've got, like, people speaking on behalf of Black Lives Matter, saying, like, what's happening with Palestine, Israel at the moment. We go through that every day when we encounter the police.
It's on the Black Lives Matter manifesto, the anti-Israeli something. Right. As though that has anything to do with...
Yeah. It's sort of nothing to do with... Yeah, exactly.
Actually, Douglas Murray talked about this, the idea that conservatism is different country to country because different countries conserve different ideals, whereas progressivism is pretty universal internationally.
Yeah.
They have the same set of beliefs, and that's why you have this whole idea of intersectionality, feminists talking about the Gaza. Okay, I don't really know.
Where is this? Yeah.
It is a separate issue. Anyway...
Yes, Travon free.
I suppose actually a better analogy for the current moment would be Israel is the cops and Palestine are black people.
Right.
I suppose that would be
a better analogy.
The point being, it's how you want to view it. If you want to view it through what I would generally tend to view things through, the market sense, which is money. It comes down to money. So it would just be cheaper not to involve her. Because they've still got to produce the film and go through all that rigmarole. Yeah. They don't also have to buy it from her.
Yeah.
So there's that. Or you can view it through that lens, through the political lens, which is they don't want an Asian woman making a film about Black America.
It's like, oh, you're taking that opportunity away from a black person. Yeah. Which I said is the irony of that is you've taken a story away from an Asian woman.
They don't care.
No, but like it's like in order to not rob someone of a voice, they rob somebody else of a voice to give him that voice.
Well, it was Ben Shapiro said that Jews have only been white for 5 years.
Yeah.
Like, we used to be a different ethnicity, but because now the whole Israel thing, we generally get lumped in with Caucasian, because we're the dominant, whatever. I think give it a few years and Asians will be lumped into that category as well. Because they, as you know, in America especially, they do disproportionately well. And so they're going to be lumped in with... Oh, you're not a racial minority. You're part of the whites now.
Right.
Anyway, Travon free. I don't know. I mean, this day and age, I don't think the market is as big a force as it used to be. I think companies are under pressure to make certain decisions for the sake of politics, rather than, even if it compromises them financially, they'll make decisions that are bad for the company. Because it's sending the right message. Yeah,
like generating press. Because even you've got some people for whom like the press they generate will be positive. It's like, oh, look at this company doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And then you'll have a lot of other people saying, look at this company doing the wrong thing. Why do they keep doing the wrong thing?
Right.
Either way, you've started a conversation around the product or the company or whatever it is.
That's one of the go-to buzz phrases of the time, isn't it? Time to have a conversation. Time to, what's the narrative of the blah blah.
Yes.
What's the truth? That's the important thing. Okay. Anyway, so Travon Free wrote for The Daily Show, and in 2018, a bunch of he was part of that tweets resurfacing trend.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Yeah. Anti-Semitic tweets, anti-Semitic jokes. They're not tweets saying "fuck the Jews, they're scum." It's Jewish jokes, which, depending on your taste, you're either going to find a process. I tend not to care about things like that as much, especially if they're jokes.
Yeah.
He apologized for the stupid tweets, blah, 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 blah. I just find it interesting that he wasn't cancelled.
Yeah.
And that's because he's one of them. I don't mean a black person. I mean he's on that side.
On the right side. What about Kevin Hart, though?
I know, this is the thing. It does seem... Well, actually, I don't know where Kevin Hart stands. Is he?
Yeah, I don't know where he stands politically, but like he definitely, he lost that gig.
Yeah, but because he refused to apologise, basically.
Right, okay.
Or did he apologise? No, wasn't the Dave Chappelle thing like he refused to apologise and then spent the next 3 months going on talk shows apologising?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. But he's a comedian. Comedians good comedians, tend not to adhere to the dogmas of the time. I don't like Kevin Hart's comedy, but he's not. Have you ever seen like Hannah Gadsby? Like that kind of school of lesbianic, short hair, fat women with glasses comedy.
Is he one of those?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like he's not that.
Okay.
Even though I don't like his comedy, it's not for that reason. I just don't find him that funny.
I always thought that he was like
he's an observational comedian.
Yeah, he's just like what you think of when you think of stand-up comedian. It's those. It's the obvious jokes, like, oh, we all go through this thing, don't we? But obviously, because of his race, it's more skewed towards...
got that stuff, like a black Michael McIntyre. Almost.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, he's very, like a pop stand-up comedian.
Yeah, broad, yeah.
He's very broad.
I mean, I've seen clips of Kevin Hart, and he is very broad. I mean, he's massively successful, so that must mean he's quite broad.
Yeah, it's rare that you attain that level of success and not be broad.
Yes, yeah. But so I just thought that was worth adding to it. The fact that he does have a history of controversy.
Yes. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So that's a slightly more damning evidence.
That he's not a stellar
that he might. Because, like I said, I don't even think... At the time, I don't think Netflix or Now This or even Travon Free had commented on the controversy. And since it's been 2 weeks since we recorded that episode, still nothing has arisen as far as I know.
Maybe they're getting their ducks in a row. I don't know.
Maybe.
They're figuring out their response.
Yeah.
How they're going to deal with it. I don't usually... If it's utter bullshit, you feel like they'd respond immediately. These claims are baseless and blah, blah, blah.
You'd think,
the fact that they're waiting implies that they're strategizing.
Or it's just... it shows just how little they think of her. Like, part of the reason might have been... The reason that they went ahead with it before is just like, oh, she's one person.
Yeah.
We are multiple corporations. She doesn't stand a chance.
I mean...
So the fact that she's come out and said something, they still think that. So it's like, but she's nothing. She can't do anything to us.
I mean, it's on his Wikipedia page, indelibly now.
Yeah.
That'll be there forever, unless someone deletes it.
No, even if it turns out that, for whatever reason, she made it up, or, it's found that, oh, it's just a horrible coincidence, it'll be... They'll change it to he was accused of this, but it was later found.
Oh yeah. That it does say that he's been accused of this.
Right.
Obviously that none of this is proven.
No,
as it were. But it just seems very that is the case.
Yeah. And okay. So that little diversion about Israel-Palestine turned out to be kind of fitting,
I suppose,
because it was a little anti-Semitic.
Oh, I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
I also doodled the Star of David before we started recording. So
okay.
It's definitely on my mind.
Okay. Yeah, that's, as you said, I'm not educated on this at all. And the thing that I didn't understand was that, okay, if you're favouring the underdogs, okay. But I thought Hamas were a recognised terrorist group. I don't understand why left-leaning people left-leaning ideologues, I should say, because I think there's going to be left-leaning people who do support Israel. Like they,
yeah.
But yeah, like left ideologues, I don't know why they've decided the Palestine are the good guys when they're a terrorist group.
Just because everything is viewed through power, and they don't have as much power as Israel.
Isn't the go-to insult for somebody who isn't left-leaning ideologue like, oh, you're a Nazi, and yet they're supporting a group that's currently killing Jews?
Well, whose mission statement is the genocide of the
genocide of all Jews.
Well, but that's the beautiful and horrific irony of the modern age.
Yeah, I was going to say, beautiful's a bit like...
No, it is.
I know beautiful in the sense that it's such like a perfect contradiction, but it's not...
To them, Jews are the Nazis.
Yeah.
That's the irony.
Which is, like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. It hasn't even been 100 years yet.
The anti-Semitic thing, it does bad for me. I do not fully understand that at all. I don't know if anybody does, but the fact that pretty much everywhere they've ever been, they've been persecuted.
Yeah.
But even across the political spectrum, it's not just far-right anti-Semites. It's left as well.
Well, now, certainly, because they're supporting Palestine in their attempts to... even though, Israel is like this it's got this pretty hefty military power.
As it's required.
Yes.
Yeah. Every country around it wants it gone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that came out of necessity, and also they're not the ones currently bombarding their neighbour with rocket fire.
No.
Then they're also not the ones that are hiding said rockets in hospitals.
Well, yeah. And
civilian complexes in order to ensure that there is no counterattack. Well, because they don't want to kill civilians.
Yeah, that's why Hamas set up their headquarters. They do it under hospitals because this is the thing. Within that is an implied defense of Israel, which is they know Israel's not just going to bomb a hospital.
Yeah.
So they're kind of admitting that there's a disproportionality. There's a lack of equivalency. They're not the same.
Yeah.
Hamas does not care what it bombs.
Yeah.
You think it's being like deliberate? You know, it's that whole thing in the West Wing, isn't it, about like proportional response and all. They don't think about stuff like that. It's just destruction. That's all it is.
Oh, but I don't know what the counter argument would be. Well, yes, they have to be creative in how they fight because they can't match them pound for pound.
Right. Okay.
They have to quote unquote outsmart Israel.
Right. Actually, Israel outsmarted Hamas very. I don't want to say Palestine because that's the thing. Like we were talking about this yesterday. Palestinians, mostly they're just people.
Yeah, but Hamas are the ones that are...
They're governed by a terroristic organisation. Yeah. But normal people. Like there are actors who are Palestinian. Some films are made in Palestine. What point was that a diversion from?
I don't know. I said that always the implied defence that they can't match Israel.
Sorry, they outsmarted them by basically tweeting that they were they were moving troops to a certain area. Knowing like Hamas have this tunnel system that they retreat into. Right. And they knew that would force Hamas to retreat into the tunnels, and then they bombed the tunnels. Oh, right. So that's pretty good. Yeah. Using social media. Ideally, peace in the Middle East. Right.
Wouldn't that be a wonderful thing?
Yes, that's the ideal, isn't it? Yeah. A two-state solution, I guess. Palestine, its territories, it already has,
which they've attempted before, right? A two-state solution.
Oh yeah, but it's always been scoffed at by Palestinian leadership, basically.
Right.
To me, it comes down to it's that Sam Harris thing of intention matters. Israel, if it wanted, if the will was there, could roll into Palestine tomorrow and destroy it and kill every Palestinian. Yeah. They're not doing that. Now you could argue it's a moral consideration, You could argue it's cynical and it's just because the world is watching and they're not, whatever. I mean, yes, one is worse than the other. If the only reason they're not doing it is because of how it would look, that's not great. But the point is they're not doing it. Yes. Whereas Hamas, if the roles were reversed, do we think there would be any Jews left in the Middle East next week? Answer no. No. Right? Intentions matter. And I'm sick of either drawing an equivalency or just saying that Hamas, it's basically just these brown people being persecuted by the state. It's nonsense. But all the memes you see, it's the language of oppressor, oppressed. Because it's all power. Everything's power. And with literally zero other consideration. Palestine, they don't have an army. So? What's that got to do with
They're
it?
doing a lot of damage without an army.
Yeah. But and obviously any Palestinian civilians, that's always terrible. All usual caveats, right?
Yeah.
But the whole thing of like Israel, the way they kind of destroy, the way they bomb, is they send something that essentially sends a shockwave down the building that's a warning for people to get out, and then they level the building. They want to destroy, unlike I think today, they destroy, or yesterday, a media building that broadcasts shows and radio. Tactical strikes to cripple their capabilities. They don't just bomb wherever.
Indiscriminately, right. Which is what the Palestine, Hamas are doing at the moment, right? They are just firing rockets so that they can, anything will get through. Yeah,
it's that app, isn't it, that shows like the areas that are under most threat of being attacked, and it's basically the entire...
Yeah, it's just red dots constantly.
The entire country, basically.
Throughout Israel.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it looks like it's leading to all-out war.
Yeah, scary stuff.
Scary stuff. I mean, that is a regional problem. Obviously, every country is going to have an opinion about it.
Yeah.
But that is a regional issue, fortunately. Like, it's horrible, but at least it's contained.
It is,
you know what I mean?
Like, that's how it starts, right?
Well...
Like, perhaps. Nazi Germany, that was like its own thing, and then people were like, hang on, this is not okay. And then everyone sort of got involved after that.
Well, I think the problem with Nazi Germany is that Hitler kind of wanted world domination and the cleansing of all unclean peoples. As
maybe
whereas this is just, we want your land, but you can't have our land.
Yeah,
and that's kind of it, really.
I don't know. Maybe like the Archduke Ferdinand is a better comparison. It was like that was like an isolated incident in that part of the world.
Yes,
because of a series of agreements and treaties between countries.
Right,
it's all sort of cascaded.
Yeah, so that would be more appropriate.
Yeah,
example. Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see. But I don't know. I mean, I'm pro-Israel. I'm not anti-Palestine. I'm anti-Hamas.
Yes. Which shouldn't be controversial, right? I'm anti-terrorism.
It shouldn't.
I'm anti the terrorist group.
No, but it was that one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter, isn't it?
Okay.
Like they wouldn't see them as terrorists. They'd see them as like, okay, they've done some nasty things, but the ends justify the means, and you can't make an omelette without breaking some eggs.
Okay.
All that bullshit. Like they've been forced into a situation like the Taliban or like the Mujahideen in Afghanistan.
You can't make an omelette without bombing Jerusalem.
Yeah. It's the George Orwell thing, isn't it? Like the best response to all that. He was talking to a communist about the horrors of the Soviet Union, and the communist said, "You can't make an omelette without breaking some eggs." And George Orwell said, "Where's your omelette?"
Yes.
Where is this brilliance?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Anyway, so that's Israel. Okay. Didn't intend on talking about Israel at all.
No, because as we caveated, like we are not prepared to have that conversation. But I feel like I'm prepared enough to know like who I'm sympathetic to.
Yes, I know enough to have a basic moral intuition about it.
Yeah.
As any reasonable person does, if you're not an ideologue. Anyway, so should we move on?
Okay.
Right. Another recurring theme.
Okay.
Derek Chauvin.
Oh, yay. I thought we were done with him, but he's back.
I won't really bring it up. It's not like we're breaking the news here, but I've heard about it from one place. So I think it's probably worth sharing to our very few listeners as well.
Okay.
There have been concerns surrounding juror partiality.
Yes, I've heard that.
Yes. A guy called Brandon Mitchell, who's one of the jurors, photos have surfaced showing him wearing a Black Lives Matter hat and a t-shirt stating "Get your knee off our necks."
Yes.
When he was at a Washington DC march that was like for Martin Luther King Day or something like that.
Okay, and was this prior to the trial?
Yes, prior to the trial.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know who found these pictures. Presumably they were just on his social media.
Yeah.
The defense litigators did a fucking shit job there, didn't they?
Yeah, like I think the defense have used this, or they've attempted to use this as grounds for a mistrial, haven't they?
Yeah.
I don't know whether, like, yes, obviously, if there are concerns about juror impartiality, then yes, like that's a concern that needs to be raised. But you really should have caught this beforehand.
Yeah, exactly. I think the judge...
you knew, being on the defense, you had to have known that, like, you were up against it.
Yeah.
In the Derek Chauvin trial, you had to be perfect.
Yes.
Even perfection was not a guarantee.
No.
So, yeah, that's a bit...
Yeah, well, because it's not just that this guy kind of slipped through, because the judge asks the jurors questions, or at least the question of, do you feel like you can be impartial? And obviously, if you're supposed to state any biases that you might have, prejudices.
Yeah.
And I think the guy said, when asked, like, so what do you know about George Floyd and Derek Chauvin? He's like, oh, I've heard the name on the news. When he was, like, quite active.
Like, wear it to get your knee off on
Yes,
it.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, in any other decade, in any other time, grounds for a mistrial or acquittal, not now. I haven't seen it anywhere except Ben Shapiro.
Yes.
Basically.
Yeah. Not only have they not granted a mistrial, they're actually giving him a harsher sentence. Or at least there are considerations at the moment for giving him a harsher sentence. Because I think the judge had been asked to reconsider the evidence. I don't know whether it was in the wake of this revelation about the juror, or whether it was just because it's still big in the media at the moment. People were like, oh no, we're not happy with the 12 and a half years he's getting. We want him to get 40 or whatever. And I think the jury presented him, I think I saw that they presented him with 5 factors that would justify Chauvin getting a harsher sentence, and the judge agreed with 4 of them. Okay. So it's very, very likely, if not already happened, that Chauvin is going to go to jail for longer.
He's already been convicted of 3 different types of murder.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, right. I don't know how you can go harsher than that.
No.
And it's first degree.
Well, 12 and a half years, because he got 12 and a half years, and I think they said that that's the recommended sentence for someone who already has a record.
Right.
So I don't know what Chauvin did for him to already have a record.
I mean, he'd had harassment claims against him and stuff like that. But I think most cops do.
Right, okay.
It's just something that comes with the territory.
Okay. And 12 and a half years, that's, I don't know whether it's a regional thing. That seems a bit low for a murder. Considering that he was convicted for 3 different types of murder, 12 and a half years does seem low.
Yeah.
But I think they're pushing for 30 or 40 years now. I think what was I don't remember all of the factors, but I think the ones that he agreed with were Chauvin displayed cruelty to George Floyd. Right. Because even though George Floyd was saying, I'm dying, I can't breathe, Chauvin kept his knee on his neck.
Right. But wasn't that the stuff already considered?
I thought that there was another video, wasn't there, that kind of showed that he was more on his shoulder blade than on his neck.
Oh, well, ignoring that. Just assume that he had kept it on his neck. Yeah. You'd think that would be one of the core elements of the trial. I mean, was it second-degree manslaughter? He was... Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that basically that when he said when he was dead, he didn't remove his knee? Yeah. Isn't that basically that charge already?
Yes, yeah, exactly.
So, okay.
But unjust cruelty, and I think the fact that there were children present, the fact that more than 3 people participated in the crime. Right. Which I don't know how that reflects badly on Chauvin. Right. Because I heard, wasn't there something a while ago where the officers that were with him were basically rookies, and they were questioning. They were questioning his methods, and he was like, "No, it's okay."
Maybe, I don't know.
I really don't know if that's a legitimate, but I feel like I heard that at some point. Okay. Of course, they've got their trials coming up soon as well, don't they? Yeah. Yeah. Do you think that now that we've bagged Chauvin, do you think they'll be a bit Chauvin was the one that actually killed him, so it's not like we're going to go easy on you, but we're not also going to try and get you to go to prison for 40 years.
Well, consider me a pessimist at this point. Okay. I don't have any hope.
Oh no, you just found out you were an optimist as well.
No, I know, exactly. A couple of things did it, but this being one of the biggies. No, just assume the worst is going to happen. Okay. And it probably will. Yeah. Why do we talk about these things? I just feel like we're the commentary at charting the march to Armageddon sort of thing. Right. That's what we're doing, isn't it? Okay. Here's the next float in the shit parade. Yeah. Or floater, I suppose, would be more appropriate. Oh, yeah. Ooh. What? Ooh. That's got nothing. There's nothing controversial about that.
I don't know. I just made a noise to acknowledge that you did a pun. You did a thing.
Oh, right. Okay. Ooh implied that I was doing something inflammatory.
Okay.
No, it was a poop joke.
It was.
Because I said shit parade.
Yes.
Floater.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's not like...
Okay. All right.
All right.
All I wanted to do was acknowledge you did a thing.
Okay.
I didn't feel like I would get told off for it.
No, I just think it was a weird response to a pun, wasn't it?
Okay.
What's a response to puns? Like
Yeah.
like.
I think it was more informed by the fact that you have been so critical of my punnage in the past.
Oh, I see.
So the fact that you did a pun is like, oh, really?
Well, it wasn't a pun, was it? It was wordplay more than a pun.
Okay.
Okay.
You say that as if like that justifies. So like, oh no, wordplay is a significantly higher form.
I'm not saying significantly higher.
Yeah.
It is higher than a pun. Of course it is. Of course it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Discuss in the comments.
Yeah.
Is wordplay
they won't.
higher than... No, they won't. No.
Okay, that's that for that really, isn't it?
I think so, yeah. So yeah, like the... one of the people on the jury...
Brandon Mitchell.
Yes, Brandon Mitchell was involved in Black Lives Matter.
Yes.
But even that was not considered like... No, he's fine. He's
fine.
impartial.
Whatever.
In fact, we're going to send Derek Chauvin to jail for longer.
Yeah. Like, how dare you even suggest that this be grounds for acquittal? We're now going to, like, just to teach you a lesson.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although I think I did see somewhere that there were... Who's the name of the politician who, like, went down to Minneapolis around the time of the conviction and was like, we need to take to the streets, we need to be more aggressive?
It was a female senator. I can't remember her name.
I feel like I saw something saying that her comments... The judge acknowledged, like, okay, they are a bit inflammatory. That might...
Oh, how nice of him.
Yeah. Like, I can understand... I can see, like, that you would think you have a case here for acquittal or something like that.
Okay.
Nothing will become of it, obviously. No. I'm pretty sure.
I mean, the Brandon Mitchell thing is cut and dry, really. Like, there's no... The whole thing of, there was this whole, like, in the air, there's been this pressure because of the marches and... Okay, you can argue that and argue it convincingly.
Yeah.
But ultimately, you can't prove that had any impact unless you want to neurologically study the jurors. You can't prove that had any impact. But the fact that one of them is a BLM guy, that's cut and dry. Over.
Yeah.
Over. One of the jurors was compromised.
Yes.
Anyway. The final recurring issue, the Golden Globes.
Okay. Did we talk about the Golden Globes last time?
Oh, no. Did we not?
No.
We talked about the Oscars.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, they're all blending into one.
Okay.
New topic then.
Oh, wonderful.
We have talked about them before.
New content.
The Golden Globes.
Yes.
Have you heard they're not happening next year?
Well, I have now.
Okay, they're not happening next year.
Okay.
At least next year.
Okay. Why?
Okay, because the organisation that doles out the Golden Globes is called the Hollywood Foreign Press Association.
Okay.
And there are 87 voting members of the HFPA, and a Los Angeles magazine conducted an investigation in which they unearthed that none of the voting members were black.
Oh.
Resultantly...
Yeah, go on.
There's been a lot of pressure for the HFPA to reform, have reforms, reformation, reforms...
Reparations, throw them all
reparations,
in
reckoning. And a bunch of major companies have jumped on the bandwagon, either boycotting or threatening to boycott. Them's being Netflix, a big one.
Yeah.
Amazon Prime, a big one.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers, a big one.
Yes.
NBC, the channel that airs the Golden Globes.
Oh shit, okay.
A big one. And then a bunch of actors, I think most prominently Scarlett Johansson.
Okay.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
Well, I was kind of hoping that they were taking a year out to, like, we realise that it's stale and bland, and we realise that, you know, things are getting in the way of us just doing the awards.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a year to figure it out, to get our shit together and come back and be like, hey, here we are.
Yeah.
I guess they're kind of doing that, but...
Well, here's the thing.
You know?
The Golden Globes suck.
Yeah.
They're crap.
You've said multiple times that they're the trashier awards.
Yeah, everyone gets drunk, and that's why Ricky Gervais is the perfect host for the Golden Globes. Yeah. But I want them to go away for the right reasons.
Yeah.
I don't want them to fall victim to this bullshit.
No. I mean, we don't know, do we? Like, firstly, how... Well, when they say they're like, oh, you know, the 85 voters, none of them were black. When they do come back, what percentage, what do you think they're going to do? Is it going to be like half black, or they're going to look at like... Are they going to do what they've done in previous organisations like the BBC, where they look at like countrywide demographics and be like, oh, like 42% are black. So we'll have 42% on the panel. And
I don't know, because this whole idea, we need to look at reform. What really would those reforms be other than we need to get some black voters on the board?
Yeah.
That's all it really is, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're cloaking it in this vague, we have to like undergo this reevaluation. They just basically saying to you, get more black people to vote.
Yeah.
And
we're going to give you a year to go and find black people and give enough
get
of
them
a
on
shit.
the board.
Yeah.
I don't know, because the thing is, if you go and by national population, I think it's 13%, isn't it, of America is black. So you could do it that way. Or because it's an easy binary, black and white, people could argue, 50% black and 50, even though it's not representative demographically, because those are the two big ones.
Yeah. Just sort of make up for lost time. Let's put more black people on there now.
Overcorrection.
Yeah, overcorrection, yeah.
I mean, ignoring the fact that it doesn't matter.
No.
It just doesn't matter.
It doesn't change which film is the best film of any given year. The only thing it'll change is which ones
you know what?
Do better critically.
We
or do better in the awards.
Yeah. We started doing our own awards just for our own fun when we were like 15, 16. And we've basically done it ever since. Realizing now that we might be the single like ones propping up because on the one side you've got all this like, oh no, your opinion's different if you're black, therefore you need more black people on the thing to vote for black films and black winners and blah 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 blah, right? On the one side, and the fact that films get nominated for their politics a lot. On the other side, you've got your Ben Shapiro's and your Stephen Crowders who think that films should be nominated because they're popular, not because they're actually good. It's like in the middle, here we are, just going, what was the best film of the year in our opinion?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and it is our opinion, and the winners' awards are always opinions.
Yeah.
But just the individual voters should be operating on that meritocratic system of, right, what did I think was the best performance of the year? This is probably the 200th time we've said this, but I feel it keeps needing to be said. The only thing that matters is how good is it?
Yeah, exactly.
What is its merit?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's also...
Like, no one, like, the people who vote for these awards, they don't give a shit anyway. Like, with the Oscars, isn't it? Like a lot... you've heard stories about, like, people who, like, submit their votes to the Academy. They just have, like, their maids watch the films.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't know, fucking... Stacey, which one of those...
Talking about Juanita.
Yeah, Juanita. Stacey was more like, I'll ask my daughter, but I suppose Juanita. Which poster do you like more? It's like, you look like me. Okay.
We'll Roma.
Yeah, Roma.
That's the best director.
Best cinematography. Like, what is that? It doesn't matter. It's one.
It's black and white.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Saying that to a Latino woman.
No. I somewhere in between. So... Yeah. It's not like they've never given a Golden Globe to a black person. Yeah. I would imagine in the history at this point of the Oscars and the Golden Globes, the amount of black winners is disproportionate demographically.
Well, we're still getting like, it's the first black woman to like win makeup or something.
Yeah, for Ma Rainey. Yeah.
We're still getting those.
Yeah.
But most that Moonlight won in the year that it came out, Green Book, which was like racially. Yeah. Like there's a lot of, those films do well.
Yes.
They do very well at the awards. And
a lot of them do better than they should.
Yes.
Because of the guilt attached to the subject matter. Yeah. 12 Years a Slave is like an exception, where it's a really, really good film, but deserved awards.
Sort of like Parasite, where it just happened to be...
It happened to tick boxes and be really great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like Green Book a lot. I'm not a fan of Moonlight, but I know I'm in the minority there, funnily enough. You haven't seen Moonlight, have you?
I have not.
You would not like it.
I suspected as much.
Yeah.
I have no intention of
it's just a normal film. Yeah. It's just like, it's a well-crafted but fairly middle-of-the-road film. It's not like best of the decade, as loads of people were giving it.
Yeah.
But it's not like the Golden Globes have never... At the last ceremony, there were probably loads of ethnic minority winners, you know?
Yeah.
Michaela Cole wasn't nominated.
Yeah. And like I said before, it's not as if... It's like, if we... Like, the best film of the year is not winning because we don't have enough black voters. It's like, no. Like, whatever the best film of the year is, that won't change.
Yeah.
Nothing about films Like, the films that are being made, which ones are better, what excels, or what, that's not changing. It's just the people who are voting for them.
You know what? It's partly an age thing, but I realised a few days ago that just film watching now, for me, films are worse than they were, say, in the noughties. Okay? That's partly an age thing, because I'm just not the right age anymore to kind of fall in love as easily with things.
Yeah.
But part of it is I know that there's always like one foot in, is this going to turn out to be really annoying?
Yeah.
A film that I'm looking forward to, is it going to turn out to be annoying? Whereas, and I realised that I've been watching a lot of stuff from the noughties. We watched Wallace and Gromit yesterday.
Yeah, exactly.
And like the Batman trilogy and like some Bond films and the Bourne films. And there's none of that in any of them.
No.
And I'm just retreating backwards just because that infuses cinema today. And I mean, they've also been accused of anti-Asian racism.
Okay.
Because Minari wasn't nominated for Best Drama.
Right.
But it was nominated for Best Foreign Language Film.
Okay.
The rules at the Globes are a film has to be 50% English to qualify for motion picture drama or musical comedy.
Okay.
Now, stupid rule.
Yeah.
Right? Stupid rule, but whatever, okay? It's arbitrary, but that's how they've always done it. And so I think Inglourious Bastards was nominated, and that isn't 50% English.
Right, okay.
And so the thing, but you nominated that, but you're not happy to nominate. Do these people genuinely believe that that's because of anti-Asian racism? Is that really what it is?
Yeah.
Do they genuinely think that? They just don't like Asians?
No, well, no. Like Inglourious Bastards is more of a crowd-pleasing...
It's a Tarantino film.
It's a Tarantino. It's a more fun watch than Minari.
Yeah, and there's a lot of English in Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah.
So people didn't... When you watch it, you're probably not thinking...
And like there's...
It's not a foreign film. Inglourious Bastards is not a foreign film.
No.
Minari is not a foreign film, but it's not an English language film.
No.
Inglourious Bastards, even if it's principally not in English, when I think of that film, I don't think of it as a foreign language film. I think of it as an American movie.
Yeah.
It's just like the impression you get from it when you're watching it. It's got nothing to do with specific prejudices against racial groups, you know? Anyway, so they're now the Gelded Globes.
The Gelded,
yeah.
Right, okay.
In my estimation.
Oh dear, okay. Yeah. So what do we think this is going to do to the Globes? Do you think they're going to stay trashy, or are they just going to become the Oscars? I know they're kind of the Oscars light anyway.
Yeah. I'm not convinced they're going to come back.
No?
I'm not convinced. I could be wrong, but at the moment, it's not a certainty. It's like, Globes, definitely not back next year. Maybe never back. Okay. So, we'll see.
Okay.
One more thing destroyed. You know.
Okay.
I think that was crap, but again, for the wrong reasons. Should we do a film review?
Yes. Yeah, that might be a decent segue given what we were just talking about.
Indeed. Minari.
Yes.
You watched it then?
I did watch Minari.
You did watch Minari?
Yes.
What did you think of Minari?
Well, you told me, because we were having a conversation on the last episode about like the Oscars, and we talked about Nomadland and you talked about Minari, and you said that you rewatched both.
Yeah.
Given like the way they performed at the awards, and you found that Minari improved for you.
Yeah.
On the second watch.
And I watched it a third time.
And you watched it a third time, and has it gone up even more?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not massively, but okay. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe it needs more watches.
You didn't like it?
I didn't anything it, really.
Okay.
It's a neutral presence to me. It didn't do anything that I disagreed with, but there was also nothing about it where it was like, yes, I like that. I feel enriched after watching it. It was there before me.
Okay.
Until it wasn't, you know?
See, it occupies a similar space for Moonlight for me. Not in that I didn't like it, really. But that it's kind of just a normal, well-made film. Yeah. That's had a disproportionate reaction to it. Yeah, But I do like Minari. I think it's a sweet film. I do think the best film is a bit much. Okay. Like, nomination-wise, it's a bit much to nominate it for best film. It's sort of a similar relationship I have with Sound of Metal winning the editing Oscar. It's like, okay, I guess I don't have a problem with that. But there are better things I would put in its place, you know? Yeah, I don't have a problem with Minari being up for best film just because it's the type of film that would be. And it's a good film. So I don't really have a problem with it being nominated. Yeah. But I would agree, it's not an extraordinary, special film. No. Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing that I did like about the film was its heart. Yeah.
It's an inoffensive, innocent little film.
Yeah.
I mean, like, my expectations going in were set by both you and Ben Shapiro, because we talked at the very end of the 4-hour podcast that we did last time.
Yeah.
We talked about how Ben Shapiro was sort of going through all of the Oscar nominees for the 2021 Oscars and how he was, like, wrong.
None of which he had even seen.
None of which he'd even seen, and he was just wrong about all of them.
Which clarified again on the third viewing, this idea that, because this thing for Minari is that it's about the evils of the American system.
Yeah.
It has absolutely got nothing to do with it.
No, that's the thing. Like, the expectations going in was, he was saying, yes, Minari is, like, it's about the evils of America.
Yeah, it's about how immigrants are treated badly.
Immigrants are treated badly, and then it was set by you saying, that's not the case.
Yeah.
I watched it a second time and enjoyed it a lot more.
Yeah.
So I went in sort of, that's what I was going in with.
Right.
Yeah, he's completely wrong.
Totally.
He's completely
to the point, all of the characters in the film are very welcoming of the family.
Yeah.
The church they go to, the place where they work, the doctor.
The only adversity those characters face is sort of brought on by themselves.
Brought on by themselves and by environment.
Yeah.
You know.
It's the same struggles that anybody would go through setting up a farm in the middle of nowhere.
Absolutely.
Because that's the plot of the film, right? It's about this Korean immigrant family.
Yeah.
What is it set?
The 80s.
I was going to say it's set after the Korean War. I knew that much. That's brought up at one point in the film. But it's this, I assume, South Korean immigrant family.
I would have thought so.
Yeah, they were living in California for a while, and as we meet them in the film, they're moving to this field in the middle of nowhere in Arkansas.
Yeah.
And the father, played by Stephen Yeun, wants to start a farm. Mm-hmm. The mother has her concerns. Mm-hmm. And the children are there as well. Yeah, the only thing that the race kind of adds to it, obviously there's a language barrier sort of thing, but not like a lot, but it's there a little bit. Yeah, and a bigger sense of dislocation. Basically, the wife is homesick. Yeah, and so she brings her mother. Yeah, brings the grandmother over. That's like it, really. Otherwise, it could be any race. Yeah, and like all of the problems that he faces when setting up the farm. It's like the fact that he doesn't have access to the water supply, so his crops are drying up. It's the fact that his business is being taken by bigger companies in the big city. Mm-hmm. Like, these are all problems anyone would face. In fact, Stephen Yeun actually has an advantage that a lot of people who are native to that area would not, in that he's identified a gap in the market. Because his idea is that he's going to launch a farm that grows Korean produce, Korean vegetables and all that. The idea being that there are so many Korean immigrants that are moving to America and there are so few places that sell Korean produce. Yes. He's identified a gap in the market that he's planning to fill. The only quote-unquote racism, was more xenophobia, is from them. Like, talking about, Americans are stupid. Yeah, like fat Americans. But it's so inoffensive. It's just a joke. It's a little throwaway. You don't take any of it to heart. But that's, as far as xenophobia goes, no one's like, who are those weird-eyed people when they first go to the church, the pastor makes them stand up to welcome them, but just as like, you're new people. What a lovely family. And like a kid is staring at Daniel, the young kid. David, sorry. David. Yeah. But like, as kids do. Yeah, and then he goes, afterwards he goes up to the kid, he's like, why's your face flat? Right. Yes. And David's like, it's not. And then literally the next shot, they walk up to David's mother and is like, can he sleep over? Yeah, exactly. That's what kids do, And then they do, later on in the film, he does sleep over. Yeah. And then the morning after, like, his white trash father turns up. Yeah. And he's just really, like, he's like, oh, hello, David. Right. Did you sleep well? Even, like, the religious nutter who talks in tongues and trying to divine produce from the land is totally sympathetic to the family. I liked him. I liked Will Patton. Yeah, he's that character is, there's something wrong with him. Yeah, he's carrying a cross. Yeah, like he does it every Sunday. Yeah, he carries a cross to God knows where. Yeah, Golgotha. Yeah, but I think he sells Stephen Yeun a tractor or something, doesn't he? Yeah. And then he says, if I'm a good worker, if you want me to work on your farm, I'd love to work on your farm. Yes. So he hires him. And he's just underling. Yeah. He works under Stephen Yeun. He doesn't steal. He doesn't sabotage. And he gives him advice. When things start going wrong, he's like, it's gonna be all right. He's there to comfort him. There's nothing. People aren't bending over backwards to help the family, but it's they're sympathetic enough that it really shows the discrepancy between Ben Shapiro's assessment. Absolutely. Yeah, it's not just. Not only is it not about the evils of America, it's really not. It's really not. If anything, it's like
it's an advertisement for why it's good to immigrate to America.
Yeah.
Like when they go and see the doctor, the easiest thing would be, right, he's trying to talk to the family and they're not that fluent. So there's a bit of like, it's taking longer than it should.
Yeah.
And just have a shot of the doctor like rolling his eyes.
Yeah, I'll just
or
like
scoff. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll get a translator down here.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, it's going to be a couple of hours. You all right with that?
Yeah, nothing.
No.
He literally just says, I've got good news for you.
Yeah.
You should be really happy with it. Like, yeah, things like that really piss me off.
In the church as well, like after the service, it was just after, because the reason they go to the church is Stephen Yeun recognises that his wife is lonely.
Yes, and she floats the idea of setting up a Korean church.
Yeah, to like a Korean woman.
Yeah.
And the Korean woman's like, we came here because we don't like the Korean church.
Yes.
So, he says, like, let's go to the church, the local church.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, she meets these two women. And they're like, hello.
Yeah.
You look nice.
Yeah, like proper, like, churchy wives.
Yeah.
Like, you'd expect to go, oh, God, they've got slanty ass.
Yeah.
Like, we can't talk
It's
to
not
them.
that.
No.
She says to them, oh, sorry, my English is not so good. And they go, okay, we'll teach you English.
Right.
It's fine.
Yeah. It's a lovely little film.
Yeah.
It? It's, again, but it's not special.
No.
But I think in this day and age, a film that kind of is very surfacely dealing with race and immigration to be a positive, not an indictment, but an advertisement for the American experience.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons it's getting so many awards, right? It's an American dream story.
Yes.
You know, and it's the iconography. You're going to remember that house and when it's on fire and that field, you know.
Yeah.
And the Minari and that sort of thing. And yeah, I don't know. I really like it. And I like it more the more I watch it.
Okay.
But I know that the film itself is not responsible for a lot of that.
No.
It's because it's a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
In a horrible climate.
It's more the context within it exists than the actual product itself.
Yeah.
Which might be what, like, stopped it from sort of going above neutrality for me.
Okay.
It's like, I understand, like, within the context in which it exists, this is a pleasant surprise.
Well,
but the film itself is just kind of there.
When you say neutral, does that mean you didn't think it was good?
Well, it's not a film that I would ever really plan to return to.
Okay.
Nor is it one that... When I say neutral, I guess what I mean by that is I wouldn't recommend it to people who are not interested in watching it, and I wouldn't stop people who are interested in watching it.
Okay.
I wouldn't anything it, really.
But, broadly speaking, do you think it's a decent film?
Well, we had that conversation before, didn't we? About how above a certain level...
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong. Like, films are so competent that there's nothing wrong with
them. No, not technically. Just the film.
I guess.
I'm not saying, like, you have to love it.
Yeah.
I don't love it, but neutral implies you literally have no opinion of it.
Well, when I finished it, no, I didn't have an opinion on it whatsoever. Okay. Like, now that it's settled for a few hours, I appreciate its good-heartedness.
Okay. So you do think it's a good movie. It's just not... You wouldn't really want to go back to it.
It's a nice movie to have at the moment.
Okay.
I guess.
But you don't think it's a good movie?
I don't know. I don't feel like... I know I've just watched it, but I still don't feel like my opinion is a good enough opinion to...
Right.
It's like, it's not like, oh, yes, I have this feeling about it.
Okay.
I don't feel that strongly about it, so it's almost weird putting my opinion forth because I don't feel like it holds that much value.
Okay. Interesting. Because I think there's a difference between wanting to go back to a film and whether you'd recommend it, and just generally where you'd place it in the good-bad spectrum.
Yeah.
There are films I didn't particularly enjoy watching that I would put in the on the good side of the spectrum.
Okay.
I don't know. I suppose I find it weird that you're non-committal to at least say it's a good film. It's just nothing special, and I don't really want to go back to it. Okay. Well, what did you like about it?
Well, like I said, I liked its heart. Yeah. I haven't seen Burning.
Yeah.
So this is my first experience of Stephen Yeun.
Not in The Walking Dead.
Not in an English-speaking role. I know he does speak English in the film.
Okay.
But this is my first experience. He is good, isn't he?
He is good. He's not the standout, though.
No.
Like, he's the one that had the most... Well, the grandmother, I suppose. But otherwise, he's the one with the most praise.
Yeah.
Don't get that. He's part of a really good ensemble, but he's not the standout.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was nice to... And I don't know if this is a language barrier thing, because that's something you kind of have to be careful of, don't you? We were cautious about that with Parasite at first, and then we realised, no, they're all good.
Yeah.
But, like, the kids, like, they're good.
The David is kind of the standout for me. I mean, the grandmother gives the best performance, I would say, and I'm glad she got the Oscar. And it's just a nice role of, like, a nice grandmother who are like, whenever they try and discipline the kids, she's like, how dare you try and... They're such a sweet boy, like, why are you targeting
Yeah, even though he made her drink his piss.
I know, yeah. But she gets him, doesn't she, is the fundamental thing.
Yeah.
That grandmotherly, like, she knows that he's having a rough time in different ways. So she's, like, just being very understanding. And knowing that he's scared of her. And then she has to ingratiate herself to him and all that. But yeah, David was the standout for me. I really liked David.
Yeah.
It's like that kid. Alan Kim is his name.
Okay.
He was BAFTA nominated for it. In the supporting actor category, which I get, but he's the lead to me. Stephen Yeun is not the lead in that film. He, if anything, I would say he's supporting and Alan Kim is lead.
I don't know. It's a tricky one.
Yeah, it is a tricky one.
Because Stephen Yeun is driving so much of the conflict, I suppose.
Yes, but the film is not through his perspective, really.
No.
It's a film about childhood, I think, growing up in that milieu. It's about the kid. Well, David, really. The least substantial role is the sister.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's all like David, basically. I guess it was him the director drawing on his own childhood. So he is David in the story, essentially. Yeah, Yoon Ye-jung, I think, is the grandmother's name. She's brilliant. I love the score. The score...
Yeah, it's a weird score.
It's a really nice score. Like, the central theme will stay with me. You know?
No, yeah, just like a film like that tends to have a very...
forgettable.
Pastel, unintrusive...
Yeah.
kind of score. But this one, no. Like you hear the music when it shows up. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, so, and it has had a cumulative effect where I've enjoyed it the more I've seen it. But I know it's only going to stay at a certain...
Yeah.
I don't think it's a masterpiece. I think it's a really nice little film.
Is it DVD quality?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's not DVD. Very few films are DVD quality at this point.
Right, okay.
But yeah, I would recommend it, generally speaking, because it's an easy film to like.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
And I think the relationship between David and the grandmother is really good.
Okay.
I really like that. Okay, is that it for Minari?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
I suppose, you twisting my arm, I suppose, I would say it's more good than bad.
Oh, that's good. Well, that's the thing, it's not bad at all, is it?
No, it's not. Yeah. But it's also, as I say, it's also, it's operating at a level where it would have to be trying to be bad.
Okay.
So, in that instance, it would have been nice if it had something to push it even further towards.
Right, okay. But you're saying at worst, it's neutral?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good, I suppose.
I suppose, yeah.
Okay. Okay, you have a question.
I do.
Ask.
Okay. Have you heard of Isaiah?
From he of the Bible?
Well, he of somewhere higher, maybe.
Okay. Higher than the Bible?
Well, just high in general. Like that area of heightness.
Right, okay. Is he from the Quran?
No. Basically, in North Wales, there is a cow, a calf, a young cow, that being what a calf is.
Got that.
Which was recently born, that has 3 eyes.
Oh, right. Okay.
Not only does it have 3 eyes, but its third eye is like directly in its forehead.
Oh, so
it's
like a proper Hindu.
Yeah, the stereotypical traditional third eye. It's like there.
Yeah,
you know,
that's ironic, isn't it? No, actually, yeah, cows are sacred in Hinduism.
No, they are.
So, and obviously that's going to be led straight to the slaughter.
Well, okay, so here's the thing.
Yeah,
I think there was. I don't know how recently it was, but in one of the articles I read, they drew a comparison with. I think there was a cow in New Delhi or somewhere in India that was recently born with 3 eyes, and it's currently being worshipped as like this, like the second coming of like this god, or whether it's an incarnation of this god.
There was another one of those in India, but it was a child born with either multiple arms or multiple legs, and it's like, is it Brahma? You know, that famous statue with all like the
the multiple arm god. But there's a cow in that part of the world where they are considered sacred.
Yes.
Where it was born with 3 eyes.
Yeah.
And they were just like, holy shit, we were right all along.
Holy cow,
we were right all along. Yeah. So they're currently worshipping this cow.
Okay.
But Isaiah was born in North Wales.
Right.
And the woman who owns the farm, I think it's a woman, the woman who owns the farm basically went like, I'm not going to treat him any differently. We're still going to kill him.
You'll have a better view of the abattoir.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
Yeah, she's basically
see
like
the blade in 4 dimensions.
Yeah, he'll see it across, like he'll see it through time.
Yeah.
So he'll see himself being killed before, during, and after.
Yeah.
So she's like, he's like, he's fine. He's acting like a normal cow.
Yeah.
So I'm going to treat him like a normal cow.
Yeah.
So what do you think of that?
What do I think of...
'Cause that's a fucking rough hand to be dealt, isn't it?
Well, having 3 eyes?
No, being born in North Wales rather than India.
Oh, I
with
see.
3 eyes.
Okay.
Especially since it just happened.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, would you eat it?
Okay, well, I suppose that's the follow-up question, isn't it? Because this cow is going to be slaughtered, which means that he will end up in someone's butcher shop, on somebody's plate, on someone's whatever.
Yeah.
Would you eat
Actually, brief diversion. My father was on S4C the other night.
Okay.
On the Heno, like,
was he commenting on the cow?
No, but there was an item that was about a family, like the S4C, the news. I never watch it, but going off this one episode, there's no news to speak
Right, okay.
So it's literally like they go and find news.
Okay.
So it's just about a family that had cows and calves as like pets, basically. And like, oh yeah, anywhere chocolate. The kids named one of the cows Chocolate. And like the next item was about the area where my father works and about the local businesses and stuff. And he was interviewed on it in his butcher shop. So it's like the utter like insensitivity of the cutting, yeah. And that item actually ends with the interviewer saying to my father, one of those cheesy setup like things to close off the interview. Oh, I'll have 2 steaks, please. And it's steaks as well. And he goes, well, sirloin? She's like, yes, please. And it's like a close-up of him withdrawing the sirloin steak from the counter. Yeah, yeah.
It's just like a pile of steaks next to Chocolate's severed head.
Yeah, a picture of
yeah,
before and after.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I have to ask your father whether he would even sell a cow with 3 eyes.
It's not fundamentally, it's beef still, isn't it? I don't know if the 3rd eye changes like
That's
the constitution.
Thing. Yeah, like, because they've said that the eye, it's in the middle of the forehead, it's got eyelashes and eyelids and all that.
Okay.
And it's secreting liquid. So it's like a normal eye where it's
tears.
Not necessarily tears, just kind of lubrication.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But they don't think...
Eye gunge.
Yes, but they don't think that it's a functional eye.
Yeah, okay. It's basically vestigial.
Yeah, like there's probably nothing connecting it to the brain, so it is just kind of there.
It's just symbolic.
Yes, exactly, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, like that's a weird genetic anomaly in the cow. But like I think like when a lot of people hear that, like a 3-eyed cow, I think they'll think of the 3-eyed fish from The Simpsons. Sure. Which came about because they were dumping nuclear waste into the Springfield reservoir or wherever it was. And obviously, like, that was a commentary on...
I banged the table.
Okay, you get my attention.
Yeah.
That was obviously like, Mr. Burns is dumping waste. And then I think in that episode, he runs for mayor.
Right.
So that he can continue to dump waste without being... like, regulated.
That's one of the very early episodes.
It's like season 1, maybe season 2.
Yeah.
And then Marge she disapproves, but Homer has to play along because he's her boss. And then at the very end, she, like... ruins Mr. Burns' campaign by making him eat the fish, and he can't do it, so he plunges in the poles. Yes. So they have to, like, that basically, ends the story. But yeah, they'll think of that fish.
Which is 3 in a row, isn't it? It's not triangular.
No, yeah, it's not, yeah.
3 eyes in a row.
3 eyes in a row, whereas this is, like, it's the 2 eyes where they should be, and then right in the middle is another one. Yeah. Just watching you. So yeah, I think a lot of people would be put off by that idea. Not necessarily because, like, logically speaking, it's not going to affect the meat of the cow at all.
Well, that's the thing. When I eat beef or steak, I know less than nothing about the cow from whence it came.
We could be eating 3-eyed cows all the time.
Exactly. No idea. I suppose the question is a psychological one. Because, yes, it wouldn't change the texture or the kind of the philosophical implications of it still eating meat. But yeah, it would be, just knowing it was a 3-eyed cow, would that change? I don't think it would. I would just have that in mind as I was eating it. Yeah. This was a 3-eyed cow. You know what I mean? Like,
someone eating it.
It's a brief break from the monotony. The monotony.
The monotony.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to do puns, am I, Sam?
Whenever you're talking about cows, there will be a pun involving moo, and that is unavoidable, and you know it.
Right.
With everyone.
I think it's utterly...
There you go. There you go. You're going to milk this for all it's worth, aren't you? All right.
No vine?
No, I do not think that works out.
Bovine, no vine?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
All right.
Yeah.
Cow with 3 eyes. What places accept a cow with 3 eyes. And if they would...
They cud.
Jesus Christ.
Now that... I just wanted to get cud in. Now we're done.
Okay.
Now we're done.
All right.
Yeah.
That's a bit...
Cow?
I think it behooves you...
Do cows have hooves?
I don't know. I don't think so. No, they do, don't they?
I don't know. Probably, yeah. Yes?
Yeah.
Cow hoof doesn't sound right to me.
No, but I can't... can you picture a cow with toes?
No, it doesn't have toes, but like pigs have trotters. It's not a trotter.
No.
Yeah, it's not a paw. So what is it? I guess it's a hoof, yeah.
Yeah.
Hoof. Cow hoof.
Cow hoof.
Yeah.
I think it behooves you...
It behoofs me.
...to stop.
Now I will.
Cool.
You're having a cough.
I'll strangle you. I'd rather staple than strangle you.
Carry on.
I don't know.
Yeah, okay, so... Yeah, I don't know. Do you think it would be different? Eating beef you knew was once a 3-eyed cow?
No, like logically I wouldn't. But also I think it's a similar thing with... it's like if you were to give someone the meat of like a kangaroo or the meat of like an ox or something. It's like, well, this is not... I'm not accustomed to... This is new to me.
Yeah.
And even though... Like, logically speaking, there's red meat and there's white meat. And then pigs as well. Like, they're kind of their own thing, I think. But yeah, like, things that are white-meated animals taste like chicken.
Yes.
Red-meated animals taste like beef.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's like a crocodile or a spider or a kangaroo or whatever. But I would still have trepidations about eating, like, spider meat or, you know...
Definitely spider meat, because it would just be that much more of a leap to think that it tasted the same as beef, whereas kangaroo, at least it's...
I mean, there are some different... Like kangaroo, obviously kangaroos are very fit. They're very hench.
Yeah.
So the meat is a lot tougher because there's less fat on a kangaroo.
Yeah.
But predominantly it is... I think I tried kangaroo meat a while ago because I understood that it was like a... It was considered a healthier alternative to beef because it is such a leaner meat.
Okay.
But it's a very sweaty... I don't know if I was just cooking it wrong. But when you cook it, it's a very sweaty smell.
Right.
And yes, it is tougher. It's less... It's not a steak, you know?
It's an Outback steak.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, Outback Steakhouse.
Okay.
But because it's from Australia. Yeah. That was very clever.
Was it now?
I just had to explain why it was clever. Yeah, does that answer the question?
I don't know. But yeah, my point was going to be like, you know, some people would have trepidation about eating something outside of the norm, even if it is basically the same thing, but like a detail is off.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. Not with a 3-eyed cow, though. I mean, it could have 6 ears. It wouldn't make any difference to me. If it was... I think the only thing that would dissuade me... Like, you could tell me, oh, it was a really happy cow and this little girl loved it. I wouldn't give a shit. I don't care.
Right.
I eat meat. I know what I'm doing when I'm eating meat.
Yeah.
I have no denial about that.
Yeah.
Right? If you said this cow had cancer, maybe that would be... like, oh, but it's not in the beef. It's not like...
Yeah.
That...
It's brain cancer.
God, you wouldn't notice the difference, would you? With a cow. All of a sudden it starts going... Yeah, no. But yeah.
No, it's spreading.
That would be a bit like the idea of eating something that had a disease. Or,
something like that.
But other than that, no, not really.
No.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if there's any merit to... Like, as a company, you're saddled with this, like, lot of 3-eyed beef. Like, do you just, like, keep it on the down low? Just, like, don't tell anyone, they won't know the difference.
Right.
Or do you make a point of it? Like, oh, the novelty.
Yes.
Of that we have, you know, limited time offer 3-eyed beef from a 3-eyed cow.
Yeah.
We'll never have this in stock again.
Yeah.
Buy it now for double the price or whatever.
It's the Mad Men thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's toasted.
Yeah.
So all cigarettes, all tobacco is toasted. No. Yeah, maybe, but no. Yours is toasted.
Yours is toasted, yeah.
And the point is, just by not lying, but by highlighting a detail that makes it look like it's unique.
Yes.
Yeah, so even though 3-eyed cow beef wouldn't be any different.
No.
You're not lying.
But
it seems like it would be different.
Yeah.
That's actually clever advertising, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah. And yeah, the fact that it's so rare.
Yeah.
It could be after our lifetime before another 3-eyed cow shows up.
I suppose if you gave me like here's a plate, right? It's beef and one is 2-eyed cow beef and one is 3-eyed cow beef.
Yeah.
And there's no difference between them. Now I'd probably choose the 3-eyed beef.
Oh, would you? Okay.
Yeah. Because if they're exactly the same, but the only currency is one of them is aberrant, I would eat that one because that is at least different, even if not in reality, then in my head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the only currency it has is the experience of the consumer, isn't it? So, yeah.
Okay. So you would eat three-eyed beef?
Yes, and I would choose it over two-eyed beef.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I think I would be still a bit like, I don't know. Yeah.
Why?
Just because, I don't know, superstition, I guess. I'm not.
Is there a superstition attached to three-eyed cows?
Not in the way like,
religion, I suppose.
Yeah, I will get 3 eyes if I eat this cow.
Okay.
Just like the fact that,
Well, you got 4.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Well, I do as well. I'm allowed to say it.
Yeah, it's like, oh, that's our N-word now. Is it? Like, we can call each other, we can call ourselves 4 eyes.
Yeah, we own it.
Yeah, but no one else is allowed.
Specky git.
Yeah, just superstitious in the sense that, like, I don't know, I don't believe that the only thing that was affected was it has a vestigial eye. There must be something.
Okay.
It's genetically different.
Right.
Like I said, logically speaking, there's no reason to think that.
Yeah.
It is pure superstition. Like, there must be something different about this.
Okay.
And I think it would... I would certainly have to build myself up to it. I wouldn't choose it over traditional beef.
Well, we know you have an unusual relationship with food already, don't we?
I suppose. So. This is a bit different, though.
No, it's not.
No,
it's not at all.
How is it?
It's even weirder than your normal fucking weird.
But that's the thing.
Phobia.
It's weird. It's like an anomaly. I don't feel like I'm alone in saying that I would be at the very least skeptical of three-eyed beef.
No, because we live in the 21st century and we know a lot about a lot. If it was a caveman and there was a cow with 3 eyes, yeah, I might avoid it because I don't know. All I've eaten, I don't know anything about cows other than when you eat them, you cook them, they're nice.
Yeah.
But this looks like a different kind of thing. But we now know enough about the world that you know that the beef of a 3-eyed cow would be no different to the beef of a 2-eyed cow.
Yeah.
So I don't know that most people would be hesitant.
I think they would.
I don't think they would.
I really think they would.
Okay.
And I think it would be that anxiety. I think it would be the 3-eyed fish thing. Because that's the main frame of reference people would have, and that was framed as a bad thing.
I don't think.
So I think they would be skeptical of like, what if there is something wrong with the meat? Because we have no test cases. We are basically the guinea pigs for this.
But we know that it wouldn't be different.
Like deep down, maybe.
No, not deep down. We know. I'm not saying it's an intuition, but well, by this point it is. It is an intuition. It's like an apple. Like all of a sudden, a green one. By this point, you know that whole thing where stereotypes come from is you eat apples and then you know they're good for you, so you can just eat it. Right.
Yeah.
And maybe when, I don't know, a species first encountered a green apple instead of a red one, they were like, oh, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
But by now, the intuition has evolved that apples are apples and you can eat, green or red. I think we'd have the same thing with cows. Because you said most people would go to the 3-eyed fish thing. I don't think so. I don't think most people even would call that reference to mind at all.
No,
I never thought of it when you said it.
I think if you've seen The Simpsons, I think you would.
Maybe, but you say 3-eyed cow, I think of a 3-eyed cow, I don't think of a 3-eyed fish.
No, yeah, the first thing you think is a 3-eyed cow. Yeah. But yeah, 3 eyes, 3-eyed fish. Oh god, yeah, 3-eyed fish. That's a bad thing.
I don't think so.
Okay.
That we might just disagree here.
We might do.
I don't think the intuition would be, oh, I can't possibly eat this cow because it had 3 eyes. You might go, is it any different? You go, no, all right. That's it. Because we know enough about enough.
Yeah.
You know, it's like eating a human. Was this one bald? Does it make a difference?
Well, not really, because a human could feasibly be bald.
Well, a cow apparently feasibly can have 3 eyes.
Yes, but it's not as common.
It's not as common,
bald.
No. But it makes about as much difference to how the skin tastes.
And also, like, I could go bald now. I could just get a shaver and shave my hair off. Like, a cow could not just grow a 3rd eye. It has to be born with that shit.
But in terms of how much difference it makes to the taste of the product when it's cooked is exactly the same. 0.
Okay. And as I say, logically, fine.
Not logically at all. I had to think my way into this. My first thing was like, oh, it's got 3 eyes, but it's still beef. How could a third eye
still gonna
change?
eat it.
Yeah, how could it change the taste of the beef? It couldn't, could it?
Yeah.
At all.
No.
So we might just disagree on this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Must be a bit annoying for her. Because, like, it's not even as if, like, oh, it was born with, like, more, like, legs or something.
Right.
It's like, oh, I can get more meat out of this animal.
Yeah.
Like, cow eyes, nothing happens to them, right?
Don't think so, yeah.
You kind of just throw them out.
Yeah.
So she's got this, like, this cow has, like, extra stuff and it's completely worthless.
Yeah, it's worthless. Yeah.
Maybe that's why she called it Isaiah, just as, like, that's her revenge.
Isaiah.
This cruel joke.
Okay.
Taunt it.
Yeah. Why would you call your cow anything if you're sending it to the abattoir? I don't understand that.
Yeah, like, especially if
cow 1, cow 2.
If you're on a farm as well, you have a lot of them.
Yeah.
Not just that you have a lot of them, but there's such a turnover of...
Yeah.
Like, they're born in the spring and they're dead by winter, right? Well, sometimes even
something like
sooner.
that. There's no use forming attachments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to have to come up with so many names.
Yeah.
Not just for, like, the one batch, but, like, okay, in, like, 3 months, I'm going to have to come up with a completely different batch of names.
I suppose you just repeat the names after a while, don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, there's an Aaron 2 years ago. You can't remember him, so you just name a new one Aaron.
Or maybe it's like, is it Matt Smith's final episode of Doctor Who when he's, like, trapped in that town called Christmas?
Yeah, where he ages. And,
and like, he's there for, like, 300 years, and this guy comes out, and he's like, oh, the doctor, the armies are attacking. He's like, thank you, Barnaby. He's like, I'm not Barnaby, sir. It's like, it's all right, Barnaby.
Yeah.
Like, he's been there so long that he keeps calling people.
Yeah. Apparently, people who work in radio call each other by the same name. I can't remember what the name is. They just use one name because they meet so many different people and different technicians. It's just easier to go by this, like, John Doe sort of thing.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, definitely a thing.
Yeah.
Is that it for the cow?
Yes.
Portion?
So we don't agree.
We don't agree.
Okay.
Right. Should we move on to the big...
Yeah, okay.
The big one. You want to tee it up?
All right. So, last episode, we marathoned every Zack Snyder film, bar The Owls of the Guardians of the Owls.
Yep.
Because, like, that was motivated by the fact that, like, we watched Justice League, everyone loved it, we hated it. And then we watched the Justice League that came before, and we thought it was better. Most people thought it was worse. And all of this positivity surrounding Zack Snyder, we were like, right, let's figure it out. So we watched all the films, and we couldn't figure it out.
No.
And we ended up watching, like you said, you watched like 3 of the worst films you've ever seen.
Yes.
During that marathon.
Yep.
This episode, it seems we've decided to marathon all the Harry Potter films.
Yeah. Why?
Why indeed?
Eddie in it.
Okay. Yeah, Eddie has his own blog now, and he did it for like Harry Potter Day.
Yeah, a week of reviews basically.
Yeah,
for
every day
film.
he posted a new review. So we were like reading those, and we were talking about the third Harry Potter. Just like we realized how long it had been since we'd seen it, and we were like talking about details, but we couldn't quite remember what happened. So we were like, oh, we should rewatch the third one. I was like, no, actually, it's been a while. Why don't we just rewatch all the Harry Potter films? You weren't pleased with this.
I was not.
Why were you not pleased with this?
Because this is what you do, isn't it?
What do you mean? This is what come up with content for the podcast?
No. Right. Whenever it's like, oh, do you want to watch the third, film in a franchise? Like, oh, we can't possibly if we don't watch everything leading up to it and leading away from it.
Right.
And yeah, I was very reluctant because the thought of rewatching Half-Blood Prince and Deathly Hallows Part 1 was not pleasant. And then you use the 2 words that are guaranteed to twist my arm.
Yeah.
Podcast fodder.
I know.
So yeah, we watched all the Harry Potter films.
I have to say, I've come out of it...
Well, should we save that for the end?
Okay.
Like where we, what the experience was.
Okay.
Yeah. So we decided to go through it for no good reason and review them for you now.
Yes.
As quickly as we can do. So
yes, because like us filling time on the podcast has become us marathoning 8 films.
Yes, it has.
That's how we fill the gaps.
The first thing to say is that we're going off the films alone.
Yeah, we're not reviewing the books. We're not reviewing whether they're worthy adaptations.
No.
We're not considering... As much as we can, we are not going to consider the context of those films.
No, and anything that we might say to which the answer could feasibly be, well, it's explained in the book, is not appropriate because the films are not highlight reels of the book. They're not just an advertisement.
Yeah, they're not an advertisement for the books. They are distinct entities unto themselves.
Yes, and they should be reviewed as such.
Yes. And I think it's feasible that people will have experienced those films without ever experiencing the books.
Yeah, more people, I would think.
Yeah,
right?
so it's not as if we're contriving. No. We're too lazy to do it properly, so we're contriving.
Yeah, we're not doing gymnastics to get away. And we also acknowledge that it's kind of fundamentally unfair, in a way, how we're going to review it. Because we are viewing it as this completed entity.
Yes.
And our instinct, as always, as writers watching something, is how would we change it?
Yeah.
But we know that the production realities mean that, the fifth one came out in the same year the last book came out. They didn't know everything that was going to happen. They didn't know, they just adapted the books.
And they were somewhat married to the books in the sense that, there's going to be 7 books, so we have to respect those stories and not, not take chunks of Goblet and Fire and put it in Order of the Phoenix or whatever.
Absolutely, yeah. Okay. I think the thing we can say about all of them before we dive into individual reviews is that they're all too long.
They certainly are.
Maybe with one exception, but even that. But they all are too long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're long books.
They're long books.
So I understand it.
Yeah.
But yes.
But even the shorter books are as long as, I think Philosopher's Stone is longer than Order of the Phoenix, which is ludicrous.
Yeah, especially since Order of the Phoenix is the biggest book.
And it's, I think, the shortest film, or one of the shortest films.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so we're going to do our rankings basically where we would have placed the films before reviewing them.
Before the marathon, we had an idea of the films going in. And though that idea was thus. These were the idea. Sam, just read your list.
Okay, so my order in ascending order, so starting with the worst, I would have said the worst was Deathly Hallows Part 1.
Okay.
Then The Half-Blood Prince, then Philosopher's Stone, Order of the Phoenix, Chamber of Secrets, Deathly Hallows Part 2, Goblet of Fire, and Prisoner of Azkaban.
Okay.
And yours?
Yeah, can you pass me my list?
It's at the top there.
Okay. Yeah, it's been a while since Yes. Okay. So my list would have been thus. It would have been Deathly Hallows at the bottom, then Half-Blood Prince.
Part 1, yeah?
Part 1, yes. Yeah. Part 1, Deathly Hallows Part 1 at the bottom. Then I would have put Half-Blood Prince, Chamber of Secrets, Philosopher's Stone, Order of the Phoenix, Deathly Hallows Part 2, The Prisoner of Azkaban, and Goblet of Fire.
Okay.
I remember saying to you...
Thank you.
Yeah, oh, okay, you said thank you. I should probably keep that in.
Yeah.
Show you as the polite man that you pretend to not be.
Okay.
Yeah, we were... The rewatch came out of it's something to do for the podcast and, stubbornness, I suppose, on on my part. But really, we wanted to rewatch the third and the fourth one.
Yes.
Because the third one is held in very high regard. And I said to you, I remember enjoying Goblet of Fire more.
Yeah.
That's because it was the first book that I'd read, having seen the film as well.
Yeah.
So I had, a perfect comparison. And at that age, I was just, at the right age. I was just in that franchise at that point.
Yes. Yeah, that locked you properly into it.
So it was, it would have been... That's one thing that I wanted to do, was go back and see, how much of that was just... my personal experience and how much of it is the merit of the film.
Yeah, so there's definitely a before and after thing going on here for us.
Yes, definitely.
I think we last watched the films probably around the time Part 2 came out, so about 10 years ago.
Yeah, the early ones I had on video, I think the first 3 I had on video, and given that when I was a child I watched videos, I rewatched those a few times, and then maybe from Order of the Phoenix onwards, I just kind of watched them as they were coming out.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so yes, the last time I saw a Harry Potter film was when the last one came out.
So 10 years ago.
Pretty much,
10 years ago. Okay, so Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
Okay.
So the way I've done this, and obviously you add whatever you want, but we've tried to collate our points. We'll go through the good stuff, then go through the bad stuff, maybe flipping around based on the film. But I think that's an economical way of doing it.
Okay.
So Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, the good stuff.
Okay.
The visual effects, very decent for the time.
Yeah, that was a nice surprise. My idea going in, the first 2 films are fairly low down for me.
Yeah.
My thought was they are the standout in that franchise because obviously Dumbledore was completely different. The lighting and cinematography and the design of those films is all completely different.
Yeah.
You just kind of get through Philosopher's Stone and Chamber of Secrets to get to the rest of it.
Yes.
And obviously it came out, 2001?
Yep.
It's going to look... Especially since at the time, it was, the lighting was very TV filmy.
And the guy they got to make it was, Chris Columbus, who Home Alone, very family-oriented, mainstream, and it's for children. I think that was one of the dominant things.
Oh, yeah.
More than any of the others, obviously the cast are at their youngest. And actually, being back in the world of Harry Potter inspired me to, what were the books like? Yeah, I really don't remember the books, but I know a lot of adults read the books. So I've been listening to the Stephen Fry narrated audiobook of The Philosopher's Stone. I've got about halfway through. It is for children, the way it's written, it's for children.
Yeah. I'm
not saying it's a wonderful world, all that, brilliant imagination, but there's not much to get out of it from the books if you're an adult, I don't think. They really are written for children.
Yeah.
And the first film, similarly, I would say, has that vibe.
It certainly reflects that. Just to sort of finish up the visual effects point. So I was expecting it to look very dated.
Yeah.
Especially within the context of its own franchise. The look of it changes so much that going back to the first one would be jarring.
Yeah.
It kind of is initially.
Yeah.
But I was surprised how well it held up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Fluffy is fine.
Yeah.
Obviously, Voldemort's face is not.
No.
But you were the one pointing out with the sorting hat, the whole idea of integrating.
Oh, God, yeah. I think that's what saves the Philosopher's Stone and Chamber of Secrets as well when we get to it, is that Chris Columbus knew how to integrate the special effects into that world.
Yeah.
Like, the troll in the bathroom is a bit the troll itself is very clearly CG.
Yes.
But the fact that they're actually destroying the stalls that he's hitting with the... It makes it feel like he's actually in that environment. The sorting hat as well. When the sorting hat is on Harry's head, even though the sorting hat is very clearly a CG model, or at least there's CG trickery afoot.
Yeah.
The camera's doing a full 360 around him.
Absolutely, yeah.
So even if the sorting hat is completely fake, the tracking on it's perfect.
Yeah.
It really feels like he's actually on Harry's head. I
think I pointed out to you, didn't I, that the kind of the visual trajectory of the Harry Potter films is like Doctor Who, basically. 2005 onwards, where you start off and a lot of practical stuff, a bit of a hokey CGI, and kind of more of an innocent feeling as well, and then it kind of darkens as it goes on, and it gets to the Broadchurch point. There are elements of that in the last films, but yeah, the first one, those kind of effects, practical and CGI, because of the way they're done, they're both kind of charming and a bit crap.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they've got that thing going for them.
Well, it's kind of like when we were watching Curse the Were-Rabbit last night.
Yeah.
We were saying that when it comes to films like Kubo and the Two Strings, which are stop motion animated, they are flawless in their animation, to the point where it just looks like traditional animation because there's so many extra frames and the models are so well designed and the movements are so clean and crisp. And yet, Curse the Were-Rabbit, with all of its rough edges, looks so much more impressive.
Yeah, I like seeing the thumbprints.
Yeah. There's something about it being there's something about seeing the imperfections that, it doesn't take you, when it's done well, it doesn't take you out of the experience, it enhances it somehow.
It does, yeah.
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 When in Curse the Were-Rabbit, when Wallace is walking through the tunnel, it's right, if you're just watching that, it's he's just walking through the tunnel.
Yeah.
But how the fuck did they do that?
Yeah.
Because you'd have to
forceps.
And, you'd have to take him out of the tunnel and move him slightly and put him back.
Yeah.
And if you're taking the top off the tunnel, you have to make sure it's in exactly the same position every single time.
Yeah, surgical. It's, it's operation.
Now, you become aware enough to really appreciate the form.
Yeah.
And coming back to the sorting hat, the fact that the camera is doing full 360s around him.
Yeah.
Even though the face, the movements are a bit CG. When Harry's turning his head, and you can see the fringes of the hat, moving perfectly in unison. It's I don't know. Even today, I'm not sure how they did that.
Yeah, no, that's very well done.
Yeah.
Okay.
It being for children, that was the point.
That was it really. Just that those first two do feel pitched to a younger audience.
Yeah.
But the first one, really.
Yeah. Which is fair enough, I suppose.
Yeah, it's fair enough.
Given that the main characters are children. Young children at that.
And the readers were, probably younger than the characters, 7, 8, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's true for all of them, obviously, but just worth it because this is the first outing. Worth saying it. The world is wonderful. It's a very imaginative world.
Yeah.
It's,
I don't know what it is about the Wizarding World where they feel like they don't have to build things to code.
I know.
There's a lot of like when you go into Diagon Alley, there's a lot of like canted edges on the buildings and everything's rickety and like
and lopsided.
And they're like they go to the bank and there's they're on like a minecart above like a sheer drop.
Yeah,
it's like you could probably afford to put a couple of railings in or something.
Yes, but you ignore all that stuff really.
Yes,
It's like it is what it is. Yeah. The score, the John Williams score.
Yeah, he knows how to write a score, doesn't he?
He does. And obviously he knows how to write a very specific type of score.
Yeah.
Basically, types of score where you remember them. Like...
a good type of score to specialise in.
But John Williams could never do a subtle score, I don't think, could he? Like an ambient.
Yeah.
He might have done that, I just don't know about it, but yeah. It's all you do. That's his.
Yeah.
And the Harry Potter score is... brilliant. It really is great. And it's used more sparingly throughout the rest of the series. But
not least because he doesn't stick around.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like his motifs and stuff are used in future scores.
The central theme, But even that, I think it recurs a lot more in the final film. But before that, maybe not even used at all.
Yeah.
The casting.
Yes.
Is generally very good.
Yeah.
The kids are kids.
No, the supporting cast is the biggest success. I suppose, in retrospect, they did good finding Daniel Radcliffe, Rupert Grint, and Emma Watson.
Yeah, because it's always a gamble, isn't it?
It is always a gamble, especially since, again, we were talking about this, what was the latest book when Philosopher's Stone came out?
Sorry, the latest?
Harry Potter book.
Oh, when the film came out?
Yeah.
Maybe 3 had come out.
Okay.
Maybe Prison Break.
I know we said we weren't going to talk about the context. I'm sorry about that. But my point was going to be that, you don't know yet. You could. It's a pretty safe assumption that Harry, Ron, and Hermione are going to remain relevant throughout the series.
Yes. Yeah.
But, when you're casting Neville Longbottom and, Seamus Finnegan and Draco Malfoy... Well, I guess Draco Malfoy's a pretty safe bet as well.
Yeah.
But, you don't know who's going to become important later on.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of a gamble for everyone.
Even Ginny is in the first one, isn't she?
Yeah, Ginny's in the first one. And by that point... okay, she's in a chamber a bit. But
we know that Rowling had quite a lot of creative input into the. Basically, if she said no, they didn't do it.
Yeah,
it's feasible that she knew Ginny would become significant and told them that. Just so you know.
Yeah,
I haven't even written the books yet, but she's going to feature very prominently. Who would you single out from the cast? I've got 3 down.
Okay. Is Robbie Coltrane one of them?
He is.
Yes. Hagrid is great.
BAFTA nominated for the first film.
Yeah. I get that.
Yeah.
I see that.
Great accent.
Oh,
for a Scottish guy doing a Bristolian accent.
Oh, Harry.
Yeah. Oh, Harry.
Oh, Harry. You're a wizard, Harry. No,
You're
that's...
a wizard, Harry.
That's Bill Nye in the...
Yeah, Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
Yeah, I've got...
was dead, Harry Potter.
Robbie Coltrane, Alan Rickman, obviously.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And Ian Hart, who plays Quirrell.
Okay.
They're the 3 that I've highlighted.
Okay. Yeah, he's not in it much.
He's not in it much, but he is good when he is in it.
Okay.
And it just shows... He's one of those actors that is in a lot of things, but you don't recognise him. He's in Boardwalk Empire as Nucky's dad, where he's like this grizzled, horrible man.
Okay.
He's in a film called God's Own Country, which was like Josh O'Connor's breakthrough film, playing a really homophobic, Yorkshireman. Yeah, and in this, he's obviously bumbling, Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And very good. He knows the audience that the film is pitched to, and he kind of nails that.
Yeah.
Fang
is great.
Yeah, we like Fang a lot.
It was gutting when Fang didn't show up in a film.
I know. Yeah, where's Fang? Where is he slobbering over everything?
Yeah, this is part of Sam's recent
dog love.
Yeah, as you say, you're becoming broody.
Dog broody.
You need a dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just whenever a dog shows
Scooby Broody.
Scooby Broody, yeah. So whenever a dog shows up in a thing.
Yeah.
Dog. Start laughing as well. The dog's just there.
Yeah.
It's oh, look at it.
It's just, dogs are inherently funny objects.
They are.
And a really great final line. They're going into the franchise. It's a brilliant final line, which is, as he's boarding the train, then Hermione says, it's going to be odd going home, isn't it? And Harry says, I'm not going home, not really. Which I think is a really lovely line. For the end of that, he's found his place finally.
Yes.
That's all the good stuff that I've got.
Okay.
Are there any more good things you'd like to add?
I don't think so.
Okay, the bad stuff. So the little bad things first. The fact that dogs aren't allowed at Hogwarts.
The most magical of creatures.
Do you know what? It's funny. I was going through... We have a group chat. Us and Eddie was in it and another friend of ours. And I'll just say this so you know why I was going through it. Basically, for some reason on my app, it keeps saying I have a message in that group.
Right. Okay.
So I've been trying to like click on it multiple times.
Right.
So anyway, so it's going through the chat. And at one point, we were talking about dogs. And I like put up a gif of a dog with glasses, and Eddie said like, "Oh, it looks like Harry Potter too, you know. So it would be a magical dog as well." And I responded, "All dogs are magical." Love heart. So this does go back. The idea that dogs are magical creatures.
The long-held truth of the Funfiltered podcast: dogs are magical.
Do they allow cats?
That's the weird thing. Like the courier animals, or like I guess they are pets, but they're mainly to deliver the mail, aren't they? That you're allowed owls, you're allowed toads, and you're allowed cats.
Yeah.
we were theorising, weren't we? Because there's a scene in Philosopher's Stone where the owls are sort of...
they swoop and they descend
swooping
and
through the ceiling and
yeah.
dropping all the mail, and it's this very like wonderful, magical scene. Like the idea of like, so that's the owls.
That's the owls. Then you've got the toads that are just like really struggling, like dragging it.
Yeah, like, dragging like this massive Amazon...
Like, towing it.
Yeah, package to like the students.
Yeah, and then the cat would just look at it and walk away. Yeah.
Yeah, especially since like Hermione, like in the later films, it's revealed that she does have a cat.
Crookshanks,
who's nothing but a menace.
Nothing but a menace. But I will say, is a he Crookshanks, right?
I think so.
He's the only type of cat that I can vaguely stomach.
Okay.
The big kind of furry, you know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know what type it is, but it's
got like
kind
a mustache almost, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's cuddlier than your average cat.
It almost looks like Mr. Tinkles from Cats and Dogs.
That kind of
cat. Like a different shade.
Yeah. That I can kind of put up with.
Okay. Is it because of Mr. Tinkles?
Well, yes. What's the line, George? What is it? Dark cloud? Is that what I call my plan? Dark cloud? Yeah. Okay. Right. The child actors.
Meow.
The child actors are irritating.
They are.
You get, as you said, you get used to Ron and Harry.
Yeah,
Hermione,
I can stomach them after a while.
One never quite acclimates to...
It's Leviosa, not
yeah.
Leviosa.
It is annoying.
Which he wasn't even... He was saying Leviosa.
Was he?
Yeah, I'm
He's
sure
actually
he was.
getting it right. It's Leviosa, not Leviosa. Yeah, she's annoying.
She is.
She is annoying. But then we've got the biggest problems. It is cheesy. It's undisciplined. Like, for a book that size, it should not be... like a 2.5 hour film.
No, especially since a lot of the film seems to boil down to, oh, Harry Potter, look at this thing. And Harry Potter, look at this other thing.
Which is, the biggest issue, which is it's just too much fat and faff.
There really is. Like, there's the scene when they're trying to levitate the feathers.
Yeah.
And then they go to, like, they go somewhere else. Like, they go to ride the brooms, and then they go to, like, do another thing. And then, like, in the last half hour, it's like, all right, let's just do the story
It's
now.
episodic, yeah. Like, it's almost anthological, isn't it? Like different elements from the Wizarding world. They're clearly trying to be very faithful to the book because the way, like I said, I've listened to half of it. Each chapter is like Diagon Alley, the Potions Master, Quidditch. It's just stuff.
Yeah.
Which you need to do, setting up the world and all that. But the story needed to be threaded a lot more consistently.
Yes.
Through all of that.
It really did, yeah.
So that was the biggest issue.
Especially since it does feel like it's sort of... like galloping towards a finale at the end.
Yeah, it's rushed.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else to say for Philosopher's Stone?
I think the chess scene is stupid.
It is stupid.
I don't really understand why Ron had to stay on the horse while it was destroyed.
Yeah.
I kind of get like, Ron and Harry and Hermione are sort of acting as chess pieces that have been destroyed in a prior game.
Oh, it's explained in the book.
Yeah. But like, they tried to walk across the chessboard and the pawns like blocked their path. But there's like debris around the chess. They can just walk on the debris.
Also a bit of a contrivance, isn't it? Like Ron, who's basically useless, but he can play chess.
He can play
but
chess.
never comes back for the rest of the series.
No, he's
not like he's a prodigy.
Or like this master tactician.
No.
Like he's academically shit.
Yeah.
But he knows how to like pull off a scheme. No. He's all right at chess. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, he's like the Grand Master that you send in. Yeah. No, silly.
Yes.
Okay, is that it?
I think so.
Okay.
Was there another thing? No.
No? Okay. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
Yes.
The good stuff.
Okay.
It's a vast improvement.
Oh, yes. Chamber of Secrets is basically Philosopher's Stone, but better.
Yeah, it's what it could have been.
Yeah.
Because it's even got the same director, the same sets. And,
it's got the same director, the same sets. There's that lovely like the logo appears in the clouds, and then there's this large like panning shot down the street right up to Harry Potter's window. It's like, oh, okay.
I think I said to you, didn't I, when that happened, like, methinks they were thinking, the first one's done all right.
Yeah. Put a bit more money towards this one. Yeah, exactly. But there's a lot of... there's still a lot of that kind of stuff where it's like, oh, we got the flying car, and there's the screaming trees in the potion thing, and but they all kind of feed back into... Yeah. Like, the car becomes important later on. The screaming trees become like an antidote to the people who are being petrified. Yeah. It still does an exploration of the Wizarding world, but it manages to tie it back to the events that is happening, so it doesn't feel vestigial. Yeah. Okay. Well, I was going to make a point, but I'll get to that with the bad things. Okay. The ensemble cast, generally a lot stronger. What's his name? The dark arts teacher? The character, Gilderoy Lockhart. He's one of my favourites. He is. Well, like, for each film, I've basically highlighted the performers, the new additions that are really good. This is by far the most. So you've got, Kenneth Branagh, who won, like, a London Film Critic Award for playing Lockhart. Toby Jones as Dobby. Yes. Christian Coulson, who plays Tom Riddle, who I was surprisingly good, because I sort of remembered that performance, but I thought going into it would be like annoying head boy posh-o. It's not. I thought he's really good. Shirley Henderson, Moaning Myrtle. Yes. And Jason Isaacs, who for me is the standout. Yes, I think he's great. Such a slimy fucking... Yeah. Just that accent. It's so posh, isn't it? It's brilliant. I love it. Well, let us hope Harry Potter's always here to save the day. Brilliant. But Dobby as well, you know. Yeah. Dobby is fantastic. Just the self-abuse that he inflicts upon himself. I'm sorry, Harry Potter. It's just like beating himself up. Yeah, okay. It doesn't feel its length. No, that was a big surprise as well. It really nips along, doesn't it? Yeah. I was surprised at like how quickly the first one got things started, but then it does slow down with the constant like, now we're over here, now we're over here, now we're over here. Yeah. And none of it really mattered. But yeah, I think the fact that Chamber of Secrets, everything does sort of remain relevant. Yeah. That's nice that it kind of, that helps it feel like it's speeding along a lot more. Yeah. Aragog is physical. Yeah, that's a really nice detail. Are we allowed to jump to like future films when we're talking about a film? For this one, yeah. Okay. I think it's fair to do. Aragog shows up again in Half-Blood Prince as a corpse. Yeah. He's dead. And it's a CG corpse. Yeah, they relied on it way too heavily at that point. Yeah, like I would have thought... Even like an unmoving carcass was CG. Yeah. But when it was a moving physical presence. Massive fucking spider with all... Yeah, these like... It's there. Yeah. Yeah. And there's like a close-up on his face and there's like real eyes. Yeah. Yeah, like it's a practical effect of the time. Yes. But... Physical's always better. Yeah. Always better. And also the Chamber of Secrets, which shows up again in the final film. When it shows up in the final film, it's a CG set. Yeah. It's a real place here. It's the biggest set they built for the... And they presumably just destroyed it after... Because I guess like by that point, it hadn't featured in the next 5 books or whatever. And also it's such a specific set. Yeah, it's massive. Like, just keeping that... in case it might not have been possible. But it is a shame that when it shows the gulf between the way the films were made. It really, really does. And like even though Chamber maintains that aesthetic of the first film, I just like the abundance of practical effects and again the fact that they are integrating the CG so well. Yeah. I don't know, I just really like the look of it. Yes, I do as well. It's a lot better. It's a lot better. Yeah. And from like a filmmaking perspective, this is like a pretty decent film to use as an example of how you integrate like practical and CG effects. And I remember, I think like this is one of the more mythologically sound ones. Like Jordan Peterson talks about it a lot. Right. But I remember seeing it as a kid and being really kind of having the right amount of terror and excitement about the basilisk, you know? Oh yeah. Like it is scary. I think Mark Kermode, I said this to you yesterday, like made the point that when he watched, I can't remember which Harry Potter film it was, but his dominant thought was, I wish they'd made films like this for me when I was a kid. Horror films for children. That's the thing. Chamber of Secrets it's basically a horror film. Yeah, like being pursued by that monster and then he kind of stabs it through the head with his sword. I like that. And that was
one of the points, blood.
Yeah,
There's blood.
I'm glad they didn't pussy out. Like, Harry Potter bleeds in this, and you see him stabbing a giant snake.
Yeah.
And like even if they asked Daniel Radcliffe if he was okay with it, and he was like, yeah, sure, I want to stab a snake.
Yeah.
There would have been like all of this like red tape that they would have had to deal with. They would have had to get permission from the parents. Yep. Again, even if they were cool with it, like, oh, we have to sign all these forms and we have to go through health and safety. No, like at the end, like when he collapses in front of Tom Riddle, seemingly defeated.
Yeah,
he's just bleeding from all these different,
Apparently, Radcliffe's parents were reticent about him taking on the role at all. They didn't want him to do it.
Oh, really?
Because of the attention it would generate.
Right.
Which is a nice kind of opposite to the usual kind of celebrity parents.
Yeah, the stereotype of like, go.
Trot out their kids.
Yeah, be a celebrity. I don't want to. Yeah, you go now.
Yeah.
I want cookies, but you can't have them. And so you've earned yourself an Oscar.
Yeah,
go.
Earn the biscuits, you little cunt. Just a one-line delivery for me. It's said to be the home of a monster. I love that. And actually, I forgot from the first one, it's the for sheer dumb luck. I love that. It's brilliant.
McGonagall's a good one.
She's a good staple, isn't she?
That's the thing. Like, she's not like she is in the very first scene of the first film. It's her, Dumbledore, and Hagrid.
Yeah.
Dumbledore and Hagrid remain relevant throughout. Yeah. Hagrid less so. He kind of trails off after a while. Dumbledore obviously remains important.
Yeah.
But McGonagall is never really...
She never really figures that heavily into the...
No.
Into the
She's
plot.
just like a teacher that's at this... Like, I recognise her as a teacher.
Yeah.
But it's... I think it says something that she's become one of the iconic figures of that franchise.
I think she and Robbie Coltrane were Rowling's two top... Out of all the actors she wanted to play certain characters, she wanted those two for Hagrid and McGonagall. I actually think Rowling as well stipulated that all the actors had to be British or Irish. Which is really good.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, don't throw an American in.
Yeah.
I think Robin Williams wanted to play Hagrid, and like, no.
Yeah.
And the end, like the return of Hagrid, is really nice, and like the music swells, and Camp pulls away from Hogwarts, and that's really nice. That's everything I've got that's good about it.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. The bad stuff.
Okay.
Not much, to be honest. Like the bad things only in light of the other films in the franchise. So. I'm a nitpick. The way they're petrified, the characters who are petrified.
Okay.
It's clever, and you forgive it because it's clever. But it's a bit convenient, isn't it? That there's always a loophole.
Yes. The fact that no one gets killed by the basilisk.
Because no one looks directly at it. It's a reflection.
Or there's like, with nearly headless Nick. Like,
a ghost.
He was dead all along. And it's like, okay.
Yeah, it's like, all right. It's like a... But that's your first warning.
Yeah.
Like, don't try and pull shit like that again.
Yes.
And you didn't like the introduction of the basilisk, did you? Like,
no, I don't know. Like, this is... I might label this a nitpick. I'm looking at this purely from the filmmaking perspective. Like, the basilisk itself, because it's occasionally... Well, it's mostly CG, I think. But I think there are moments where the basilisk is practical.
Yes.
And again, good on them.
Yeah.
For, like, doing the practical snake. But, like, they make such a big deal of the fact that, like, if you look at the basilisk, you die.
Yeah.
And then when we first see the basilisk, we see it, eyes and all.
Yeah.
I just think that, like, it could be a good opportunity for the filmmaking to enhance the story.
I think it's something that doesn't occur to you as a child, right?
Oh, yeah. Like, this is something that, like, now as someone who's a bit more filmmaker conscious.
Yes.
Like, I see that and I think... I understand why you've done it, but I would have, I think, never seen the basilisk's eyes.
It's a good instinct.
Yeah.
It's a good instinct. Oh, the characters can't, so we can't.
Yeah.
And there's a way of shooting it easily where you don't see the eyes.
Because that's one of the things we praised Dawn of the Dead about in the last episode, wasn't it? The guy who's on the rooftop opposite the mall, we never see it from his perspective. Because the characters never see it from his perspective. It's filmed subjectively.
Yeah. And there's like the shadow and... all,
exactly. Like when the basilisk first comes out, we see it eyes and all, but then fairly quickly the phoenix comes down and like blinds it.
Pecks out its eyes,
So you've put us in a position where you've weakened the basilisk.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
But like if we hadn't seen it up until that point, Harry sees in the shadow, as is already in the film, the phoenix has blinded it. It's like, oh, cool. I can now look at the basilisk. You turn around, and for the first time, you see this giant fuck-off snake.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's still a threat.
It's even kind of creepier because it's this massive like, you know, that Cloverfield shot, right, where you finally see it and it kind of its head and then it goes down to the camera.
Yeah.
That a POV shot where he kind of turns around, this massive fucking evil snake looking at it, and its eyes have been pecked out.
Yeah.
It's even creepier. Like, oh shit, what did that look like? You know.
Yeah.
Before?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. The first two could have been fused. This is when we're looking at it from like the writing.
Yes. This is where we admit it's being a little unfair.
Yes. But if one was going to be economical with the series and get it down to a nice round 5, the first two could have been fused.
They could have been.
And resultantly, because it's only the second film out of 8, it's just not vital.
No.
That doesn't take away anything from it, really.
In fairness, you could say that about a couple of films in this franchise.
You could.
As I'm sure we will.
Definitely say about Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah.
But this one, if like as good as it is, you don't need it.
No.
But that's it, really. I don't really have anything else bad to say about it.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm glad we got it.
Yes. Yeah, sure. It's a nice treat.
Yes.
Right, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
Okay.
Should we start with the bad things?
Okay.
There aren't any.
Yeah.
There really aren't. If they are, they're so minute, it's not even worth...
Yeah, that you don't even register them. Yeah.
It's really good.
Hell of a glow up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not that, like, Chamber was bad, but just, like, like, immediately in the first shot, when it's, like, Harry is in bed practicing the Lumos spell, and, like, we're zooming into the window, and then he does it, we zoom way out to the logo, and then go back in, and it's all silent as well, like, with the uncle coming in and checking on him. Fun little, like, you know, he's... Like, oh, you know, he doesn't want the uncle to see what he's doing. Child in the bed. Like, I don't, you know. It's all, it's
the best opening, and it kind of sets the visual trend, doesn't it? Because there's a lot of that of going in and out and in and out.
Yeah.
I think I said to you, like, after that, when it goes out to the Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, it's already better. Like, that's all it takes. I think fundamentally, the most important thing is that the film reimagined the whole world of Harry Potter, didn't it? And it kind of set a tone to which they adhered for the rest of the series.
But what's nice about it is, like, I don't think it's a spoiler to say that as this franchise goes on, it becomes darker. Yeah. And I think that that's mirrored by how the real world seems to inform the magic world a lot more. Like, the magic becomes more grounded and grounded and grounded. Yeah. Like, in the first film, they're not just, like, doing the, you know, Wingardium Leviosa, they're also doing, you know, turn this thing into a frog. They're doing those, like, really long-winded spells. And then by the end of, when you get to, like, Deathly Hallows, it's basically just gunfire. Yeah. All of the spells. So it does become more grounded. But Prisoner of Azkaban managed to strike a good balance. Yeah. Where it feels a bit more grounded and, like, real, I suppose. But it's still, there's still magic to it.
Yes, it's still a children's film, I think. Well, but it's a family film more. But yeah, easily enjoyed by adults. But also a children's film, a dark children's film. Yes. We said, didn't we, for a Mexican director, Alfonso Cuarón took the reins. He's got a really acute sense of Britishness. Yeah, like the humour and sort of the way it sort of pepped along. Yeah. Yeah, it's very British. Yeah. Like Ron wakes up from a nightmare. I can't remember specifically what's bothering him. Spiders, is it? You tell them something. Yeah, it's like... they try and make him dance.
Yeah, the spiders want me to dance. I don't want them to dance. And Harry just goes, well, you tell them, spiders, Ron. Yeah. He goes, I will. I will. He goes back to sleep. Like, like there's... And
just like the satellite extras, like when that witch knocks on the door to clean the room, and like a monster just screams at her, and the door shuts, goes, I'll come back later. Yes. This is like the accents.
Yes, it's that very like buttoned down sort of British delivery, which is really nice. Yeah. It's nice to see that he's kind of
in tune with that. Yeah,
well, whether conscious of it or not.
I think he said that I don't know when he said it. It might have been superseded, but his couple of years making Prisoner of Azkaban was his favourite like film experience, basically. And his next film was Children of Men. So one assumes he really liked his time in Britain. Right. You know.
Or really didn't.
Yeah. But obviously that's very British as well. So
that is, yes, incredibly
he's obviously got a thing. The scene in the Shrieking Shack is fab.
Okay. Is that the scene where we like properly meet Sirius and...
It's Sirius and Lupin and Pettigrew and Snape. And and just this very mature dynamic playing out. Like I love when that whole thing, just wait a minute. And Sirius is like, I did my waiting. I remember thinking as a child, it feels like it's hit a new level now. Yeah. It's a bit more adult, you know? So the additions to the cast the standouts. Gary Oldman, obviously.
Obviously.
Emma Thompson is really good.
Yes.
Timothy Spall.
Yes.
And David Thewlis.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's
all
a,
very, very
It's a
good.
banging cast, isn't it?
It is, yeah. The cinematography.
Like I don't know, like, how praised the cinematography of Prisoner of Azkaban is.
Yeah.
But it is one of the heroes of the film.
It is. It always overlooked.
Yeah.
I don't think he got any awards for it or anything like that.
Shocking considering that, like, is it Half-Blood Prince?
Was Oscar nominated. The only one to be Oscar nominated for cinematography.
It's in the same franchise as Prisoner of Azkaban.
I know.
Like, Jesus
I
Christ.
know.
Well, like, we were pointing it out, weren't we? How, yeah, you've got that, like, the camera's constantly moving in and out of a scene. There's a lot of, like, one takes. There's a scene where Lupin is talking to Harry on the bridge, and, like, they're walking around within the shot, but the shot itself never breaks. You got Lupin going off into the distance when he's, like, contemplating. You've obviously got that, you know, like, the separation in the bridge is separating those characters, so there's, like, visual storytelling going on.
Yeah.
You've got, I think it's the Boggart scene.
Yeah.
Where the camera zooms into the mirror and the reflection becomes the scene.
Yeah. Seamlessly.
Yeah. And there's also that really nice, when, spoilers. It's spoilers all the way through, right?
Yeah, of course.
Spoilers, when Harry and Hermione use the time turner to go back in time.
Yeah.
When they leave the hospital wing, the camera goes through the mechanisms of the clock tower, and then when they return after they've completed their mission, it goes back through that clock tower.
Yeah.
So it, like, bookends that sequence. And I was thinking about it, like, that sounds all very impressive. That sounds like one of those things, like, as a filmmaker, it's like, you've really got to sit down and, you know, you got to spend time on it, and you got to, like, really pull that sequence together. But I don't know, I feel like when you get, like, people who are operating on a level, like on Alfonso Cuarón, where they're just, like, they're born to be filmmakers, I wonder if that's just instinct to him.
Probably.
Like, of course, I'm going to, you know, well, how are you going to film this, Cuarón? Well, like, we'll bookend the sequence by going through the clock tower. Oh my God, that's brilliant. It's like, is it?
Because that's the thing. I'm assuming he is the auteur of that film because Steve Kloves, the writer, wrote pretty much all of them, if not all of them.
Yeah.
I don't know why he would have particularly shone in Prisoner of Azkaban. I mean, maybe the story lends itself to that. But no, so that's why I'm thinking the director really is the kind of the artist, you know, of that film.
Yeah.
But like, at the beginning as well, obviously you've got that really great opening with going in and out of the bedroom. And then it hard cuts to handheld as he's opening the door for Marge.
Yeah.
I remember, again, as a kid thinking, things are different.
Yes.
And I think the tagline of the film is everything will change.
Yes.
And it never more appropriate for the franchise than in that film.
Absolutely, yeah. Talking about the writing, though, and again, who knows if this is Steve Kloves or J.K. Rowling, but it's such a strong script.
Very, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I complimented Chamber of Secrets for being able to do the exploration of the Wizarding World while tying it all back into, like, plot-relevant moments.
Yeah.
But there's not a wasted scene in Prisoner of Azkaban.
No.
And I know that there's stuff that was cut from the book, and yet you've got like three different. You've got like the stuff going on with Buckbeak. You got the stuff going on with Lupin. You've got obviously the threat of Sirius. You've got the Dementor. You've got all of this different stuff.
Yeah,
and it all ties back in at the end.
Well, to memory, the most flippant scene is Harry riding Buckbeak. That's the most disposable scene, and that is majestic.
It was majestic,
like,
yeah.
It genuinely was. Like, obviously, it's a little bit dated.
Yeah,
but it was emblematic. The film was really striking the balance between spectacle and purpose.
It was.
Like Superman Returns.
Yeah.
The scene where he's flying around with Lois. Like, no real narrative purpose. It's just a nice scene.
It's a nice scene, but also you could, like, if a producer were to sit in front of you and go, like, right, do we really need this? It's like, well, yeah, we need to
like Buckbeak.
We need to like Buckbeak. Yeah.
Trust has to be formed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay. And I've just got a list of things that are good.
Okay.
Right? The night bus.
Yeah. Going to be a bumpy ride.
Yeah. And Stan Shunpike, again, very British.
Yeah.
What's you looking at over there? You know, it's really, really good.
What are you doing down there? I fell over. What you fell over for?
What you fell over for? Yeah. Oh, come on then. What was it, that one? He's a murderer. Yeah, brilliant. Night bus, Dementors, which are at their best in this film.
Yeah, this is the best portrayal of the Dementors. Yeah. Why did they take their hoods off in films?
I don't know. I guess so it didn't look like it was blokes in hoods. Not that it did.
No.
But maybe to separate them from Death Eaters.
Yeah, or just like the stereotypical portrayal of a Reaper.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, fine, but they look worse.
They do look worse.
Stuff, I think.
The Expecto Patronum climax is great.
Yeah.
Again, as a child, because you get those residual feelings that you had, and just how epic that is, and the music again swelling, and Expecto Patronum, it's great.
Yeah.
The Hammer Horror Werewolf transformation.
Oh, you like that?
I love that. That's probably my favorite thing in the film. It's just that the moonlight, the lighting, kind of coming up through the cloud, and hitting Lupin's face. And the makeup as he slowly transforms.
And like the hard zoom into Lupin's eye and then back out. And
brilliant.
Brilliant. I know people have complained about the werewolf design before. Yeah. And I guess in the pantheon of werewolves, it could be better. Yeah. But it's used brilliantly in the film.
And the way his eyes go black, it just looks real, Yeah. Hogsmeade, own clothes.
Yeah, that's something you pointed out like before we watched it. Maybe like there's something that like only a kid could really appreciate. But just like, I remember going on school trips when I could wear my own clothes. Yeah, it was the first time we really saw them at Hogwarts in their own clothes. And it was like a revelation at the time. The Marauders map, brilliant. Yeah, it's a lot. Like there's a lot of good stuff in this film. Like really, really good stuff. I like as well to sort of briefly return to the script. I really like the way that the time travel was handled. Yeah, everything like a little loop. Yeah, not massive kind of. Yeah, like it's not excessive. Yeah, and like it makes sense. It's not one of those things where you kind of like. Obviously, the film was shot knowing that there's going to be a time travel sequence, and that whole section of the film that they revisit, that's accommodating for it. But it didn't feel contrived. No, like the amount of time it takes them to do things and the way that they interact with themselves, like their past selves. Yeah, it's all very plausible. Well, that's the thing. Like, it could have felt very hodgepodge because, as we said, that was the problem with Philosopher's Stone. It was stuff. In this, you've got werewolf and you've got time travel. Like, why are they in the same film? Yeah, but it works. Yeah, it really does. It's handled really well. Yeah, and I like that. I like the reveal, the way the reveal is handled. Because that they're going to time travel. Oh, right, yeah. Because obviously he's peppered through, like, Hermione, how are you in two places at once? Yeah. And she's like, don't be ridiculous, Ron. Yes. So it's not that it comes out of nowhere. But, like, it's not... A traditional twist in a film, typically, it's just, like, aha! Yeah. Now you know what happened. Yes. Now you know what really happened. Yeah. But it doesn't end there. Like, the reveal leads to more plot. Yeah. Like, it's not just like, Hermione's been time traveling all along. It's like, okay, she's been time traveling. Now let's, like, go back and do this really clever sequence with the film. Yeah. Like, it belies something else. It's not just there to have a twist, which is really nice. Yeah, and it's not like the usual time travel impulse, which is, it doesn't recontextualize the entire film. It's just the end... The last act. Yeah, it's that bit. Loop. Like, even though Hermione has been time traveling throughout the film, she's just been doing it to go to her lessons. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Professor McGonagall will give Hermione Granger the power to time travel so that she can attend more lessons than she should. Yeah. But she won't sign Harry Potter's release form to go to Hogsmeade. Yeah, well, that's something which we're gonna compare quite a lot, I think. Yeah. And the score. That's my something wicked this way comes. The toads, and they kind of that theme kind of recurs a lot. Yeah, really good. Yeah, it's very good. What did you think of Michael Gambon? Because this is obviously the changeover of Dumbledore. I liked him a lot as well. Like I do prefer him to Richard Harris. Like Harris has this dignity, but like whenever he cracks a joke, I don't know. It's squarer. Whereas Gambon, he's a bit of a character. Yeah, he's got this almost like impish quality. Yeah, he's impish, devilish, like, with the time travel stuff, with the time turner. Yeah. And he's like, bye-bye, like, good night. And quite camp. Did you do it? Yeah, we did it. Did what? Yeah. Goodbye. Yeah. It's like, okay, this is... He's got gravity and whimsy to him, which is really good. Yeah. So that's everything good. That's everything. Yes. Great film. All of it good. Yeah. Really worth a watch. And because it's fairly... self-contained, it can be watched in isolation, I think. It can be. Voldemort's mentioned once or twice, and that's kind of it. Yes. Yeah. I mean, like, the first three, you could feasibly watch them on their own, I think. Yeah. Yes. Like, there are allusions to the fact that this exists within a greater story. Yeah. But it's, like, after the next one we will be discussing, The Goblet of Fire, I feel like that point and beyond... is not the place for a newcomer.
Yeah, because they're making zero concessions to newcomers.
Yeah. Like even Goblet of Fire, it's a bit like I suppose you could watch this first, but you have to have a bit of you have to be prepared for the fact you might not get everything.
Yes.
But yeah, Prisoner of Azkaban, Chamber of Secrets, Philosopher's Stone, that's kind of nice. That it does exist in a greater story, but if you're just interested in those, you can watch them.
You can just sit down and watch them,
Yeah.
Okay, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire.
Yes.
Start with the good stuff.
Okay.
The opening scene is very good.
Yeah, like you were talking about the handheld camera.
Yeah.
And it's like how we're like, oh, this feels different. Like the opening to a Harry Potter film is like a guy in a shack making, like he's just turning on the stove and making tea or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like there's no... Eventually we do see Pettigrew again. And, but yeah, it's just a guy making tea. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
No magic, no Harry Potter, no Dursleys.
Yeah. And
What's this about?
And very creepy music.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. The it's kind of, it's in a minor key now.
Yeah, it's
sort of,
corrupted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay.
And the ending, obviously, I think is what everyone loves about Goblet of Fire. The death of Cedric, how grim that is.
Yeah.
That, like, not just that he's just pale and wide-eyed, and, you know, obviously the father, my boy! Not just that. The fact that, which I forgot, Voldemort, when he's dead, is just, like, rolling around his face with his foot.
Oh, yeah.
Just like, oh, yeah, look, he's dead. You know, it's
just toying with him, yeah.
Great. Just so bleak.
Yeah.
Just so fucking hell. That stuff is great.
Yeah, Voldemort is obviously...
Yes.
Ralph Fiennes.
Yes, very, very good.
Ralph Fiennes.
Let's decide. Shall we? Ralph Fiennes.
Ralph Fiennes.
Ralph Fiennes.
Yes.
Yeah, great.
He's good at the old Voldemort thing.
And that whole just entire set piece at the graveyard. The Death Eaters are very good as well.
Yes.
Yeah, they're good.
No subtlety.
Absolutely zero subtlety. No, they're the KKK.
They are.
And yes, Ralph Fiennes, Brendan Gleeson, very good.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons that I loved Goblet of Fire so much. That my memory of like Goblet of Fire was so positive is because of Brendan Gleeson.
Yeah, Mad Eye Moody.
He's probably one of my favourite. Even though like, as you pointed out later on in the films, like even though the real spoilers, the real Mad Eye Moody does show up. In later films. We never really meet that character.
You never really know him. No, obviously, he's basically just doing what he did in Goblet of Fire. But in the context of the narrative, it is like David Tennant's Barty Crouch was doing a spot-on impersonation.
Yeah, like
he was really channeling his energy.
He really understood Moody. Yeah, he really got all of his takes down.
And David Tennant.
Yeah, he's good fun.
Really, like, proper theatrical, campy, like, villain,
I think this is literally the year before Doctor Who, right?
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah.
When did he start Doctor Who?
2006 officially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it is, yeah. Or was it 2000? It might be the same year.
But I think it was 2005.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because Philosopher's Stone and Chamber of Secrets were 2001, 2002 respectively.
Yeah, 2004.
2004 for Prisoner of Azkaban, and then I think Goblet of Fire was 2005.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's it for the good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who would have thunk?
This was a shock.
Well, I think we should say as well, since doing this, I've looked up a few different websites' rankings of the Harry Potter films. And I don't want to like proper spoil it, but we're a bit out of step with the consensus.
Yeah.
Goblet of Fire is always near the top, usually second.
It's usually second to... Yeah.
And we have not placed it there.
Were my opinions, like... Were my personal opinions of like the experience of watching it at the time not so positive, then I would have put Goblet of Fire second.
Yeah.
Because I recognise the quality of the third one. I always have, but I always like the fourth one more.
Yeah.
It has plummeted.
Yes, it has, for both of us.
In my estimations. That was a real shock to me.
Yeah, really. Because I thought it was a safe bet for number 2.
Yeah.
I really did.
Well, these were the two. These were the two we wanted to watch.
Yeah.
So that was like, oh, this is a good day. We get to watch both Prisoner of Azkaban and Goblet of Fire.
So why is it not as great as we remember it?
Well, everyone's annoying again.
Yeah, the kids are really annoying.
That's a surprise.
Yeah.
Fred and George constantly going, yes.
Yeah. I don't know how that happened.
No.
I think it's partly another problem. It's way too emo. It's way too much fixation on hormones.
Yes.
And resultantly, I think that's partly why they're so annoying. But it's just everyone's got long hair and it's really annoying. Really annoying.
Yeah.
And it was obviously an aesthetic choice.
Even like Fred and George, who are how many years older?
Yeah, at least 2, right?
Yeah, surely they've gone through that phase already.
Yeah, and it's just like, it was obviously a choice. It's not like with Breaking Bad, right? I've heard a lot of people talk about how a lot of the characters are bald.
Yes.
And what that represents.
Oh yeah, I've seen that meme where it's like, it's got, in the credits, it's got the name of the hair and makeup, or the hair consultant or whatever. Yeah. And it just shows a picture of all the characters and they're all bald.
Yeah. And, you know, I've seen one particularly pretentious kind of talk, I suppose. It was like a philosophy conference, and Vince Gilligan was there just to be interviewed.
Right.
And they were like, oh yeah, the baldness, like how does that feed into the blah blah blah? And he's like, accident. Pure, like no decision.
Yeah.
Same with season 3 of The Leftovers. A lot of characters had beards.
Right.
And when Damon Lindelof was asked about it, he said, oh, one had grown a beard for another role and asked if he could keep it. And then another said, I haven't shaved. Do you want me to shave? And then slowly, everyone had beards.
Yeah.
No,
Carrie Coon just showed up with a beard.
Exactly. Yeah.
Weird.
No intentionality to it.
Yeah.
But with this, it must have been a choice because they all have long hair.
They all have long hair. Yeah.
I just don't think everyone decided, oh, fuck it, for 4th year. The point is, they're moody teenagers now. They're going to have long hair.
Yeah.
Unwashed. They're going to smell of hormones.
Yes.
And testosterone. And it's really annoying.
It is really annoying.
It's really irritating.
Yeah, like I said, everyone is annoying. Like, for different reasons. Like, obviously, Fred and George are just irritating in their conduct.
Yeah.
The fact that Ron refuses to believe Harry. It's like, I don't... The amount of stuff you two have been through.
I'm almost certain this is it's explained in the book thing.
Yeah.
I don't care. In the context of the film, what they've been through, why would he... Harry's like, I didn't put it in. Just believe me, for God's sake.
Firstly, why would you not believe him? Like, I can understand how, like, you believe that he didn't put his name in the Goblet of Fire.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's going ahead with it is frustrating you.
Yes.
I understand that.
Fine.
But yeah, why don't you believe him?
Yeah, like...
Do you not trust Harry Potter all of a sudden? And, like, how fickle are the kids of the school?
I know, they turn on him on a dime, don't they?
Yeah.
Any little allegation.
Everyone's like, Cedric Diggory, fuck Harry Potter.
Yeah,
like, you know who Harry Potter is, right?
I know.
You know what he's done for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, the band at the Yule Ball.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
The thing is, I know that it's a magical band, right?
Yeah.
But, you know, it's like, dance like a hairy goblin.
Yeah.
Are all songs...
Put your hands up like a hippogriff.
Yeah. Are all wizarding rock bands, all their songs about wizardy stuff? Like, none of them do, like, Goth, The Cure song. You know?
Just, like, about feelings.
Especially given the type of film it was. I guess it would have been weird if you just had a band playing, like, Friday I'm in Love or whatever. Because there's absolutely zero magical context to it.
Yeah.
But something better than just listing magical creatures.
Yeah, just like do this thing like this magical creature.
Yeah.
It's like put your hands up like a plate of pasta. Like that. I don't know what our equivalent would be. I guess that. Just like, these very normal.
Yeah, exactly.
Sit there like a couch.
Yeah.
Or something.
Like wizards still fall in love and have heartbreak. And as the film
and
keeps fucking reminding us.
Yeah,
exactly. Especially The Cure.
Why especially The Cure?
Oh, because they're gothy, you know.
Okay.
You've got to concede a lot and suspend a lot of disbelief with the Harry Potter films.
For me, was the biggest thing that ruined the film for me. Yeah. Especially after watching Prisoner of Azkaban, which, as I said, manages to juggle so much while also sort of feeling streamlined.
That's what the best Harry Potter films do. They juggle a lot and streamline things.
Yeah.
And this one was way too narrow.
Yeah. Like I said, you've got Buckbeak, you've got Sirius Black, you've got all of this stuff going on, but it all feeds back into the same conclusion. So it all feels like one story being told. Yeah. Like, I don't know, the Goblet of Fire, there's only really one thing going on, and that's the Triwizard Tournament.
And I admire the impulse. If it's like we're gonna do we're gonna focus. We're gonna not throw a lot of things.
Yeah,
but it got tunnel vision as a result.
Especially after like having done Prison of Azkaban, it's like, okay, we did a sprawling story.
Yeah,
it might be a nice change of pace to do a more focused story. But that sort of conflicts with the fact that they've massively expanded the world.
Yeah,
by bringing in Beauxbaton and Durmstrang and Fleur and
Fleur Delacour,
Victor Drum or whatever his name is.
Crumb.
Oh, Crumb. My mistake.
Yes.
Which, again, like I think this is just me. Like when you have like Trial of the Chicago 7, for example, the 7 that are on trial.
Yeah.
Obviously, some people are not going to get. People will get more focused than others. But the fact that like 2 of them, you never really get to know them.
Yeah.
That like irritates me a little bit.
See,
I don't know whether it's just like an OCD thing or
but like very quick diversion towards character. I'm okay with it in that case because the whole point of those two characters, as they say, is we are the guys that are going to get acquitted, like, and forgotten by history just so you can go to jail.
Right.
So I'm okay with it in that context.
Okay.
But yes.
But yeah, the fact that like here is Victor Crumb, especially since like, he gets an introduction before we even get introduced to him properly. You see him at like the Quidditch World Cup. He's playing for fucking Bulgaria.
Yeah.
And then Fleur de Love comes up.
Yes. Fleur de Lune.
Fleur de Lune comes up. And we never really get to meet them.
Yeah, they're bland.
Yeah.
They are bland.
There's a bit of like a love rivalry thing with Crumb and like Hermione and Ron.
Yeah.
But we never see Crumb's perspective.
I know that you're supposed to root for Harry, obviously, but there is a problem when the characters are in peril and you don't care because you don't know anything about them.
No, like in the second task, Fleur can't complete it.
Yeah.
So her sister remains at the bottom of the lake.
Yeah.
And she's a bit panicked. Mm-hmm. And then obviously like Harry saves her as well and Ron brings her up to the surface and Fleur's like, you saved my sister, thank you. It's like, this is the first time we see her.
Yeah.
It's like, we're 2/3 into the film and this is the first time she's spoken.
Yes. Yeah.
And like earlier on in the film when Ron says, he comes into the room being carried by people with like this PTSD look on his face. He's like, I just asked Fleur Delacour out to the dance. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know her. Is this a big deal?
I suppose in that it's him, isn't it? Like asking anybody out that's like attractive, basically. Yeah. But yeah, the biggest issue, for me anyway, when you're watching Harry Potter, you ignore a lot of the... Hang on, what? You don't think about that. But this film, I was thinking... Hang on, how's that happening?
Yes.
How's that allowed?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's a sign the film wasn't doing its job.
No, because there's a lot of characters in this film, but they're all existing in the same like area. Mm-hmm. It's not like Mad Eye Moody has his own thing going on. I mean, he kind of does because it turns out he's and like the reveal that like how Voldemort ties into the end. I guess you could say like, that's a thread that was running through the film, but no, it's all just kind of about the Triwizard Tournament. So you have all of these characters. Like the giant who is in charge of Beauxbaton Academy, the guy who's like the former Death Eater. Yeah. Like none of this is really explored. It's all just Harry is horny and he's taking part in the Triwizard Tournament and Ron's a bastard for some reason.
It's things like when he's trying to get the golden egg from the dragon, we're thinking, how is this allowed?
Yeah.
Are you not meant to think that?
Yeah, there's like this weird bullshit about like, the Goblet of Fire... It is like this binding magical contract that we can't break. Yeah. With who?
Well, listen, the book is massive. I'm sure it is explained in the book. Yeah. But in the film, this whole idea, they're beholden to this thing. Like, the goblet has spoken. Yeah. So fucking what? It's a fucking goblet. Yeah. Like, why are you so...
It's basically just like, it picks who takes part in the games.
Yeah, because whenever they introduce the new task, and obviously it's a mortally challenging thing. Yeah. And all the teachers are like, oh, shit, okay, Harry, this is what you have to do. They're scared for him. It's like, but you have to do it. Why? What are the terms and conditions? I don't understand. Yeah. What happens if they don't respect
Because it's not even as if like, we have to honour the tradition that the goblet represents, because Harry is the fourth entry in the Tri-Wizard Tournament. Yeah, yeah. This has never happened before.
It's not tradition, yeah. They at least like take the goblet aside and go, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like
listen, goblet, I know that you're you starve for novelty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you're inanimate, but hear me out.
Yeah, they needed to explain the rules, didn't they?
They really did. Yeah, we don't know what like they're beholden to. I know that like if we find out at the end that Bartley Crouch in disguise as Mad Eye Moody cursed the goblet to...
I love you keep saying Bartley. You're still saying Bartley.
What's his name?
Barty.
Oh, Barty. Yeah.
Bartley Crouch. The farmer.
Like he cursed the goblet so that Harry's name would come out of the goblet, so that Harry could win the tasks, all of which are very likely to kill him, so that he could touch the cup that could take him to the graveyard where Voldemort is,
because they
bring Voldemort back to life.
Yeah,
but what? Because
again, like the fact that you were thinking about it is the problem. Yeah, I don't care about a bit of contrivance and a bit of conceit and a bit of invention, whatever. But my attention shouldn't be drawn to it. No. That's the point. Yeah. And like, because you were Googling like, can anything be a portkey? The fact that you were thinking that is the problem.
Yeah, like why did you make the Triwizard Cup a portkey? Why wouldn't you just be like...
let me know when Voldemort's ready to come back, and I'll fucking hoodwink his robe.
Yeah.
And that'll be a portkey.
Or just like, you know, like Harry's in your Defense Against the Dark Arts class. It's like, oh, Harry, can you stay behind a sec?
Yeah.
And then everybody leaves and goes, oh, Harry, can you just hold that a sec?
Yeah.
Fucking portkey instantly takes him to
Exactly,
Why does he have to participate in the Triwizard Tournament?
Because that's the whole thing. Like, Crouch as Moody is kind of engineering Harry's victory through all these things, like letting people know, to let him know about clues and all that sort of thing. Why? It's not enough to say, oh, because it's a clever reveal at the end. No, not good enough. Like, it needs to be
and this is the thing. I praise the reveal in Prison of Azkaban because it's well implemented.
Yeah.
And it leads to more stuff. Yeah. It's not just, a reveal. This is just, a reveal.
Yeah.
And it's not even a good one.
No.
Because if you're paying attention to the film, they bring a polyjuice potion multiple times. We see Mad-Eye Moody do Barty. We see him do Barty's like tick, where he like licks his lips, which his father picks up on.
Yeah.
We see the case, the chest that the real Moody is trapped in.
Yeah.
And Barty in disguise is like, oh, you'd never believe what's in it.
Yeah.
There's so much telling you.
Yeah.
What's happening that like anyone with half a brain would figure it out immediately. So it's not a reveal.
Plus, it comes hot on the heels of the graveyard scene. That was the climax. There didn't need to be more after that. Voldemort's back.
Voldemort's back.
Oh, but let's deal with Moody. I don't really care now, to be honest. Voldemort is back.
I guess it's nice, like, you've got that like that really grim scene.
Yeah.
Followed by him returning at the end of the Triwizard Tournament.
Yeah.
Leading into another very grim scene.
Yes.
And I suppose it's nice that the final scene of the film is more uplifting. It's like, everything's going to change. Voldemort's back. Everything's fucked.
Yeah.
But
you're not alone.
You're not alone, Harry.
Yeah.
Fine. Okay, I'm happy with the more uplifting ending. But, Voldemort's back. That is, like...
Yeah.
That's like an Infinity War ending.
Yeah.
It's like, holy shit. What's going to happen now?
Yeah.
It'd be a nice place to cut off that story.
Right.
Yeah.
So the film went down in our estimation.
It really, really did. Oh yeah, like all this bullshit about like, oh, because shit's dangerous. Because the Death Eaters destroyed the venue where the Quidditch World Cup was taking place. No one under the age of 17 can put their names forward to participate in this school Olympics, basically.
Yeah.
Where you have to kill dragons and not drown and shit.
Yeah. And
Harry Potter, he put his name forward, but for some reason we're just going to allow it.
Yeah.
Like, all of that bullshit. And then, like, they put Ron and Hermione at the bottom of the lake?
Well, again, and he needed a permission slip to go to Hogsmeade.
He needed a permission slip to go to Hogsmeade.
He needed a permission slip to buy some sweets. But happy taking on these demon mermaid things.
Yeah, it was like, oh, Ron, Hermione, could you come here a sec? We're going to, like, enchant you and stun you and make you unconscious and put you at the bottom of a lake where you're guarded by evil mermaids.
Yeah.
Even though you didn't give permission. Even though you were too young to participate in this tournament.
Too young to give
You
consent.
are now bait.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, it's stupid.
It's very stupid, yeah. There's too many... Even though there's like not much going on in the sense that it is just Triwizard Tournament until we get to Voldemort, there's too many variables that they just leave blowing in the wind.
Well, that's the thing, and I like that idea. I like the idea, like the middle film, you expand it by bringing in other countries, which we haven't seen
that's
before.
One of the things I remember really liking about it is that it's not only did it expand the world, but it was a break from the formula.
Yeah.
It's not just them in school, like, oh, they get to play games and they get to...
Yeah, and it is the midpoint of the Harry Potter story. It's the return of Voldemort. Everything leads up to it, and then everything leads away from it.
Yes.
All that I like. I like the idea of the Triwizard Tournament.
Yeah.
But the way it's executed, no.
No.
Okay, that's it, I think, for Goblet of Fire.
Yes.
Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix.
Yes.
The good things.
Okay.
Helena Bonham Carter is good, but she's underused.
Yes.
But she is good when she's in it.
She's going for it.
Well, she is mental, isn't she?
She is, but this is a mental performance.
It is, yeah.
Proper mental performance.
Yeah, like proper die-hard acolyte of Voldemort. And no quibbles or qualms about doing the most violent things. Luna is really good.
Yeah. We came away from this franchise with a new appreciation for Luna, didn't we?
Harry should be with her.
He should be.
Because the whole thing of that film as well is she's the only person who understands him.
Yeah.
Because she sees...
I thought that was a nice little idea. There's a lot of nice ideas in Order of the Phoenix to sort of spoil that, I suppose. But like you end the Goblet of Fire with that uplifting ending. Like, Harry, I know you're like in the worst place possible right now.
Yeah.
But don't forget you're not alone.
Yeah.
And then Order of the Phoenix is basically Harry being alone. Dumbledore has seemingly abandoned him. He's growing more distant from his friends.
Yeah.
He's getting is he getting visions of Voldemort at this point?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, he is, because he sees Ron's father being attacked.
That's right. And Sirius. Yeah.
Yeah, and like nobody understands what's happening to him.
Yeah.
And then he sees like the Thestrals. He's like, oh, have you seen the Thing? And they're like, what thing?
Yeah.
But Luna is like, oh, I see the Thing, Harry.
Yes.
It's like, yeah, okay, she's a bit weird and eccentric, but she gets him.
Yeah.
And the things that she says, like those lucid moments where she's giving advice, it's really good advice.
It's the kind of character as well that you set up to be the person he ends up with.
Yeah.
Because they bond over the fact they've seen horror. Like, nobody gets Harry. That's the one thing they don't get about him, but she does.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he should, but she's the kooky...
Yeah, it's like, oh no, it wouldn't be cool for him to end up with
Yeah, she's not cool. She's not cool enough for Harry Potter.
No, she is cool.
Ginny, one of the most blandest characters in the whole... She is, in the whole franchise.
Or at that point, Cho Chang.
Or as bland. We'll get to Cho Chang.
Yeah.
Imelda Staunton.
Yeah, she's great.
Is probably the best thing about the film, I would say.
Oh yeah, she's the best thing about the film. And she is probably the best Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher. Character-wise, I think.
Her and Lockhart, I think. I mean, I like Lupin as well, but like...
Oh, character-wise, Lupin's pretty strong.
Yeah, but Lockhart is good as well. They're all,
Lockhart's the most fun.
Yeah,
yes. Imelda Staunton is fun as well.
In a different way.
But in a very different way.
Margaret Thatcher on a broomstick.
Yeah, Lockhart is kind of disposable fun. I said to you, that character is perfectly calibrated given what he represents, which is he's basically just... He's there for that year.
Yeah.
He doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
So let's just make him fun.
Yeah.
And they made him really fun.
Yeah. Yes, she's good. And I like... One of the main things I like about the film is its context. The socio-political context of the film.
That was the biggest surprise to me.
Yeah, the denialism.
Yeah.
The fact everyone's like...
The fact that J.K. Rowling, and by extension the film as well, the fact that it dedicated an entire story, an entire year of a 7-year narrative to how is the government dealing with Voldemort's return.
Yeah.
You'd think that would just be like, oh, that's just kind of an element in the film. No, that's the film.
It's the film, and the fact that they're sending an envoy to turn Hogwarts into this authoritarian, like, do not acknowledge what's happening.
Yeah.
Great. And I love the idea of Dumbledore's army being this rebellious uprising, love all that. I think that's great. And you like the underpass a lot, don't you?
Yeah, like you talked about that handheld stuff in Prison of Azkaban, again, like marking like, oh, this is different. When I first saw the underpass in Little Whingin, where he's attacked by a Dementor, him and Dudley.
Yeah.
The fact that such a real location was being shown in a Harry Potter film, that really struck me.
Yeah.
We've seen the real world before, but again, it just kind of feels like, oh, it's just like any children film location. And the magical world is distinct in the sense that it's all, as we said, like rickety buildings and everything's kind of floating around and stuff. But no, the locations in Order of the Phoenix are real.
Yes.
This is a real place.
Yeah.
And when they're walking around London, I just really like that stuff.
Yeah.
It is a bit bittersweet though, because I was saying that like Prison of Azkaban manages to establish a good mix of real world and magic. Like the world's a bit more grounded, but it still feels magical. I think Order of the Phoenix marks the film where Harry Potter lost its magic.
Well, it's David Yates' first film. And then he did it for the rest.
He's in it till the end now.
Yeah.
And yes, he does seem to be making efforts to make it more grounded, especially since like the last one was basically a war movie. You kind of have to pull the magic down quite a bit. Yeah. But yeah, even though I like the presence of the real world locations and just how real they feel. Yeah, the magic world has lost its magic a bit, which is a bit, Okay. You think back to Philosopher's Stone. It's like, oh, that's gone now.
I guess. Okay.
Yeah.
I love the ending, though. The whole Ministry ending. Everything from them turning up to the end of it.
It's a good ending, yeah.
Running along the stacks of prophecies, and the Death is just appearing with those masks.
Yeah.
Sirius showing up, get away from my godson. Brilliant. That's an applause line, isn't it?
Yes.
His death, obviously, her running away in the handheld thing of Harry chasing, like, I killed Sirius Black. Dumbledore showing up, you're like, fuck yes.
You're fucked now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all... and nice little detail that I really like this time around. Nice one, James. When Harry disables someone of their wand.
Oh, yeah.
Because nice one, James, just really casually confusing him for, his father. Love all that.
Yeah.
It's probably, to me, the most exciting ending of all of the Harry Potter films.
Yeah, yeah.
Really like it.
Yeah, well, by that point, it's built up enough stuff.
Yeah.
That just the presence of a character is exciting, isn't it?
Yes, you know when Dumbledore shows up, that means shit is about to get real.
Exactly, yeah.
That's kind of it for the good stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I mean, like, the good stuff is I like the whole context of the film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
big
really
things.
good. Yeah.
The bad things. Cho Chang.
Cho Chang.
Yeah.
Cho Chang.
She's crap.
Well,
she's crap.
She's a Scottish Asian, Sam.
Yeah, so that's fun.
Yeah.
But other than that, there's nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing to her.
What? I don't know.
I mean, I like, how was it wet? She was crying. That's good. But other than that...
he kissed her. He didn't do anything more than that, right?
Yeah, he kissed her and he said, how was it? Is that wet? I think she was crying. That is really good. But obviously she's tossed aside because they think she's, nabbed them into the higher-ups.
Yeah.
But... I don't know, it's in the book, and I guess they wanted his first kiss to be not with his life partner. It's just going to be a girl, as it is with most people.
It's not going to be with Ginny or with Luna.
Yeah.
But again, like in the context of the story, it'd make more sense if it was with Luna.
Yeah.
It's like Harry's...
No, because if he'd done that and left her, I would have been very angry at Harry.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But given what Luna's purpose is in that story...
Yeah.
Yeah, she's the only one who understands him. Harry is going to latch onto that.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, but the hot Asian
she's not hot though.
Kind of, well, she's Asian.
Well, to you, yeah, that's enough.
That's enough.
Yeah.
That is enough. She's Asian. That's it.
Check how old she is when she was in.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's not okay.
Okay,
but it's okay now. Like now, it's okay.
Well,
and also,
have a look what she looks like now. I bet she's ugly.
No,
I bet she is.
She wouldn't do that to me. So.
She looks like she's going to grow up into an ugly Asian.
But like at the time the film came out,
yeah,
I was probably younger than her, so it was okay.
Oh yeah, at the time.
It's not weird, all right?
No, because I remember you saying to me in Goblet of Fire, like, this is the one where Hermione's hot, right? I was like, no. No, there used to be the case. We can't think that now.
What I meant by that was, like, the film is... There's that reveal, isn't there, where she, like, Ron is convinced she's not going to turn up to the Yule Ball.
Yes.
And then she does, and she's in that dress. It's like, oh, wow, Hermione, I see you now.
I think she's... but it's meant to be that she's pretty, isn't it? Not that she's... Oh, I would.
Okay.
Okay. Is she? How's she looking?
It's just showing me pictures of what she was like before.
Okay. Well, Google now, like 2021.
Okay.
What's the actress's name?
Her name is...
I'm going to guess Susan Kim.
Swan. No, that's not right.
No.
That's a Patronus.
Yes.
How do I... Oh, she was a seeker.
Was she? Oh, don't go into all that bullshit. Just find out what she looks like now.
Actress now.
Yeah. What's the name of the actress?
2021. Well, that's what I'm trying to find out,
right.
Sam. I typed in Cho Chang. And for some reason...
a bunch of takeaway restaurants, it?
No, it just keeps telling me, like, oh, Cho Chang was in Ravenclaw and she was a seeker. I don't care.
Yeah.
No, she's hot.
No, she's not. Let me have a look.
Yeah.
Let me have a look.
I'm getting a picture up now. Yeah, look at that.
Nah.
No? Well, no, you're just like that, though, aren't you?
Oh, I'm anti-Asian, am I?
No, not anti-Asian, just not... You don't see it.
Just not pro.
You don't see them the way I do.
No, I definitely don't.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, she's crap in the film.
Yeah, I can't... Like, the reveal at the end that she ratted them out, and they, like, obviously they abandon her, basically, and then they find out that she was under the influence of truth serum.
Yeah.
And you can see they're a bit like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
But they never apologised to her.
Nah. You're gone now.
Yeah, they just kind of leave
She
her.
rocks up in Deathly Hallows for a bit.
Yeah.
That'll do.
Yeah.
Grawp.
Which one's a Grawp?
Hagrid's brother.
Yeah. What was that?
Rubbish.
That felt like a Philosopher's Stone scene.
Definitely. Incidental. Like, obviously, they do it for the end where he helps with Umbridge, but as you said, it could have been Aragog.
It should have been Aragog.
Yeah.
I genuinely believe that scene would have been a lot better if it was Aragog.
Especially since he dies in the next film.
Yes, so it's like...
Nice to remind us of him.
Yeah, you're giving that character something to do.
Yeah.
But also, the last time we see Aragog, Harry and Ron go to him, and then he tries to eat them.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice if, like, in this film, Hagrid is like, oh, look after Aragog for me.
Yeah.
And then Aragog is still a bit like, oh, I'm going to eat you, Harry Potter.
Because the thing is, like, the whole Umbridge slags off the Centaurs, doesn't she?
Yeah.
And so then they take her away.
Yeah.
So there's already another element to it. So what Grawp is doesn't really matter. It has to be something that doesn't really speak.
Yeah.
But not even that. It doesn't have to be that.
No.
It just has to be a creature.
Yeah.
That Harry's like, look after when...
Yeah, look after creature. Yeah. And Grawp, like, he's a bit simple-minded.
I bet, yeah.
But he has good intentions.
Yes.
Getting Grawp on your side is not a challenge.
Yeah.
Aragog saving Harry.
Yeah.
That, like, you could have dedicated some time to that relationship.
Well, wasn't the last time Harry encountered Aragog, he set his children on them for food, for a meal?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So to have, like, a scene where Aragog basically saves them from Umbridge.
Yeah.
It's like even Aragog recognises...
And that's the thing as well, when he's dead in the Half-Blood Prince, you're meant to be kind of a bit emotional for Hagrid.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of done as a comedic scene as well.
Yeah.
But you're meant to be a bit emotional. But, like, if I'm just watching the films, all I know is Aragog tried to kill Harry and Ron.
Exactly.
I don't know anything else. But it's just gesturing towards the book, isn't it? Where he features more prominently, and that's not good enough for the
No, it's
series.
really not.
Yeah.
And I think it would have been a nice little arc to that character.
Yeah.
Just that, like, oh, now he might still think Harry's tasty.
Yes.
But it's like, okay, Harry, like, I understand.
I see your value now.
I see your value now,
Yeah.
I know that this is good for Hagrid, so it's good for me.
Yes. The spell's being basically gunfire, you said. That was essentially where this was where that first happened.
Yes.
I don't have as much a problem with it, just because it's like the more fluency they have, it would just become throwaway.
Yes.
So I'm okay with it. And
Fine,
like,
okay,
there might have been a more imaginative way of doing that ministry, standoff, okay. But at some point, it has to, for the chaos, it has to just be things flying around.
That's, yeah.
So it's not a big thing for me.
Okay.
The veil isn't explained.
No, I think that is explained in the book.
It almost certainly is. But it's not enough to nod toward the book.
Yeah, Sirius gets Avada Kedavra.
Yeah.
And then
He just kind of falls into...
and disappears. It's like, okay, what was that about?
Yeah, no, and the way it's established, they walk into the room, it's at the center of the room, like a pedestal, and you have this POV shot, and it's this looming monolith, like from 2001, like, well, that's significant.
Yeah.
It's not. It's there, and then it's not.
No.
So that was a bit rubbish.
Other than the fact that Harry can't retrieve Sirius's body now. That's it.
Yeah.
It doesn't play into... Because, like, after Sirius dies, they all run out of that room.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
The thing that I remembered as well, Sirius in the fire.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up.
Yeah.
I think this is what I mean about Harry Potter lost its magic a little bit.
Yes.
In the Goblet of Fire, the only time we see Sirius, his face appears in the charcoal of the fireplace.
Yeah.
A cool little effect.
In a similar way to Zod in Man of Steel, in the static of the TV.
Yeah, it's almost like his physical face is
comprised of the...
Yeah, of the ashes in the fire. And it's a good little effect.
Yeah.
But in Order of the Phoenix...
Yes.
They've just superimposed his face onto the flames.
Which we could literally do.
Yeah.
I could probably do.
Yeah, genuinely.
Yeah.
It's not a good... It's such a downgrade.
Yeah.
And even though I like the more real-world stuff, I don't like that... I suppose in hindsight, we know how much of a trade-off there was. It was like, oh, if I'm trading in like that effect and like the magic of that world, just so he can be in like a graffiti-coated underpass, I'm not happy with that exchange.
The thing is, you could argue... If he wasn't in it, if that was his only presence in the film, you could say, oh, it was like a last-minute decision to include him, get Gary Oldman in the film.
Yeah.
So they cobbled together a quick scene that didn't require much work. But he's not. He features fairly prominently in the film.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why his death is so tragic is because Harry has been to his house and there's been multiple scenes establishing where Sirius is at and like, oh, I'm ready to be a godfather to you, Harry, and...
I don't know why they did that. No. It must have just been for time. Like, we just haven't got time to do all that.
I suppose.
But yeah. Anyway,
but you have a template for it already, surely.
Exactly, yeah. And Dudley is ludicrous.
He is. Yeah, we haven't really talked about the Dursleys much, have we?
No. There hasn't been much to say about them, really.
No, well, they only show up in the beginning. Sometimes not even that.
Yeah. But yeah, Dudley... I mean, for the first few films, he's fine. He's doing a bratty kid. But when he's a teenager, when he's 15 or whatever... Just his face. I don't know what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah, just this sort of...
Your mum. Where's your mum?
Yeah.
She dead.
It's just this...
She dead.
Just these cross eyes and this massive, like, gelatinous lump of a face.
Yeah, like gormless, just his mouth barely moving.
Yeah.
How is he the leader of his group?
Yeah.
How is he the alpha? He's the guy that you pick on.
Exactly, yeah.
She dead. She dead. Fucking idiot. That's all I've got for Order of the Phoenix.
And there's also, we pointed out that weird contradiction with Vernon.
Yeah.
Vernon Dursley.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where He hates Harry Potter with every fibre of his being.
Yeah.
And yet whenever Harry, it seems like he's not going to be able to return to Hogwarts, he's like really happy with that.
Does everything he can to keep him around.
Yeah.
Basically.
Like in the first film, all of the letters that get sent to Harry Potter, and he's like, we're going to move to a lighthouse in the middle of the ocean.
It's not a lighthouse.
Oh?
It's just a shack.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But still.
Bit more cinematic, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to move to a shack in the middle of nowhere so that Harry can't go to Hogwarts.
Yeah.
In the third film, it's like, you've got nowhere to go, Harry. You can't run away from here.
Yeah.
The second film, he puts bars on his window so he can't escape.
Yeah.
In like the fifth one, when the letter tells Harry that he's not allowed, he's been expelled from Hogwarts, Vernon's like, justice.
Yeah.
Like, why? Why do you want Harry to stay?
I think the whole thing of the book is like they're ashamed that because they're so kind of obsessed with status. The idea their friends are going to know about the freaks in the family. That's what it all comes down to. But because that's not really in the films, it does just look like they hate this kid, but they have a masochistic relationship with it.
Yeah.
They want to keep him around, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, bizarre.
Also, McGonagall's words in the first one was like, these are the worst kind of muggles. And Dumbledore's like, well, they're the only family he's got.
Yeah. And we were like, are they the worst kind of muggles? I mean, I know it's a kid's film, but you've got like genocidal dictators and
you've got like cannibals and like, what was the name of that woman? Was it Shannon Matthews?
Yeah.
Where she like kidnapped her own daughter so that she could get the
I think the girl was Shannon Matthews.
Oh, the girl was Shannon Matthews. Yeah, Karen Matthews was the mother. She kidnapped her own daughter so that she could claim the reward money. Yeah. But it turned out that she'd been drugging the daughter for years.
And that's the thing. We're not saying the Dursleys are good people, but it's like they're the worst kind of muggles. They're middle class snobs.
Yeah, that's all they are.
They're the worst. Yeah, no, they are horrible, but not the worst kind of.
No, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, you could do a lot worse.
You could do a lot worse than the Dursleys.
Okay, is that it for Order of the Phoenix?
I think so.
Okay. Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Let's start with the good stuff.
No. Ugh. That's what I have to say.
Well, this is the good stuff.
Okay.
There's a sequence where it's like Harry's on E. That was entertaining.
Oh yeah, that's a fun sequence.
And there's a moment where Hagrid gets pissed, passes out, and knocks his head against the wall.
That's good.
That's everything good about Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince.
How do you feel, Harry? Great. I'm going to go to Hagrid's. No, Harry, you have to go to... No, I got a good feeling about Hagrid's.
It's definitely that's what they're going for, right?
Yeah.
That he's high. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like when he's getting drunk with Hagrid and Jim Broadbent are getting drunk and they're like, puff, puff. And then it gets to Harry, he's just like, puff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny.
And just the... of Hagrid.
His head slamming against the wall.
But that's it. That is it for the good stuff.
It's such boring film.
Well, that's the main problem is that it's just fucking boring.
So boring.
It's a holding pattern. It's going through the motions. But the whole context in which the film is set, like things get more severe as the series goes on. He's back. He's now like destroying things in the Muggle world. Yeah. He's cultivating an army. The storm is coming. And they're just like, there's a lot of normal Hogwarts shenanigans. Yeah, there's like, we've sort of... time for that has passed.
We've kind of gone back to the Goblet of Fire stuff again, haven't we? Where, like, Ron... Is this the one with Lavender?
Yes.
Like Ron
the love triangle.
Yeah, Ron starts playing Quidditch and he draws the attention of a girl called Lavender. And that starts, unbeknownst to Ron, like Hermione has feelings for him. Yeah. All of a sudden, I guess.
Well, at least since Goblet of Fire, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she was a bit like, you know, I'm not mad at you because you asked me, I'm mad at you because I was your last resort.
Yeah. No, the thing at the Yule Ball is that, because obviously then he doesn't like Victor. They're clearly jealous of that they're not going with each other, sort of thing. And she's basically like, next time, instead of being like a pissy brat, ask first. Right. Because that's the underlying thing, is you wanted to go with me and I wanted to go with you. Yeah, okay. But, yeah. So, no, they've liked each other for a while, to be fair. But it is also true, there's not nearly enough of it in the films to justify, oh, the romance is inevitable. Yeah. You don't get that sense.
Especially since they set up a false love triangle between Ron and like the other guy who's trying out to be goalie.
Oh, yeah.
On the team. Like that like thuggish... Prig.
Yeah.
He's like, you want to introduce me to your friend Granger?
No, she's a bit of alright.
She's a nice bit of arse. Yeah. Nice piece of arse. And like Hermione's just not having it. Yeah. They're like, oh, okay. And then they just do another love triangle. It's like, oh.
Yes.
But yeah, there's a lot of that like in relationship drama. Yeah. And it's like, okay, I thought we did this already.
And like Ron poisoning himself, like accidentally or whatever, and passing out. And it's just like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I just don't care at this point. There's higher priorities.
Yeah, like they're bickering over who's going to get the tatty textbook in the potions class.
Yeah.
Like, Voldemort's raising an army.
And that's things like the Half-Blood Prince.
Sirius is fucking dead.
The namesake of the film. You know, the Harry's doing well all of a sudden in potions. I don't even see how that is at all relevant to anything happening.
No.
And the big reveal at the end, Snape, yes, I am the Half-Blood Prince.
Yeah.
Okay. That adds to literally nothing.
No, I said to you, the only thing I can think of is that you're supposed to... It's supposed to set Snape up as like a legitimate threat now.
Yeah.
We always knew he was good at potions. He taught potions,
Yeah.
for fuck's sake. But the fact that he was going against the guidelines and getting better results, you're supposed to think, oh, wow, he knows his shit.
I guess. But did you come away thinking that?
Only because I was trying to think of a reason why
they would do it. Yeah. Like my instinct is just, yeah, he's good at potions. We know that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he's the potions master.
He's been potion master since like year 1.
Yeah. It's the oppressive tone of the film, and it's ugly film. Like
I was shocked when you told me this was up for cinematography.
The one, yeah, like the cinematography. If it's going for a certain thing, it's okay, but the color grading, it's so oppressive.
It's borderline Zack Snyder.
And when they try and do those light-hearted moments, it's like this does not belong in this film.
Yeah, because we complimented Prisoner of Azkaban for its very British sense of humour.
Yeah.
The fact that it was like buttoned down and just kind of like, oh, I'll come back later.
Yeah.
There's like broadly comedic stuff in there, like the book that's trying to eat him and shit.
Yes.
But that's all... If there's humour in Half-Blood Prince, it's broad comedy.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't fit with the oppressive atmosphere at all.
No, not at all.
Really not physical. I'm sure like if you look at like maybe, you know, the physical camera movements and the shot compositions in isolation, then maybe, okay, this is fine. It looks fine. But that colour grading ruins it.
It's like, well, probably he wrote the script to be like a Harry Potter film. And then for some reason, because it's the same director, the fifth one and the last two, there's not a massive disjunct between their looks.
No, they look very similar.
Yeah. But then you just got this middle one in there that looks really... And it's just like, the script was one thing, and they went, oh, we're going to film it like it's Broadchurch. Yes. We're going to make it a Broadchurch thing.
Yeah.
And it does not... Yeah, the script and the cinematography, they just clash. There's no overlap.
Although I will say I saw like the first episode of Broadchurch again recently because my mother's rewatching it, so I was in the room. In fairness, it is very colourful.
Is it?
Yeah, the saturation on the image was a lot higher than I was expecting.
Okay.
That doesn't excuse the fact that like this is a naturally gorgeous location anyway.
Yes.
Even if you were to desaturate it, it would still look very pretty.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, just in case anybody like for some reason really likes Half-Blood Prince.
Yeah.
It's like, you say it looks like Broadchurch, but it's actually more Broadchurch's more colourful. It's like, okay, fine. Okay. It's still not. It's still it still looks bad.
It looks like my memory of Broadchurch.
Okay,
you know that really ITV bleak, just drained of colour sort of thing.
Definitely.
Yeah. Jim Broadbent's okay.
He's the worst one.
He's the worst new teacher.
Yeah,
isn't he? Yeah, definitely. But he's fine. He's doing what he's.
It's also weird. Like this whole like Dumbledore's plan is I have a memory. I have a memory from Jim Broadbent.
Yeah.
That's been tampered with. You need to get close to Jim Broadbent and extract the real memory.
For that will contain the answer.
For that will tell you about Horcruxes.
Yeah.
That of which I already know and have already destroyed one.
Yeah, I've been doing it anyway. Oh, this confirms it.
Yeah, it's just exposition for the audience.
It is.
That's all it is.
Absolutely.
But yeah, you have to extract this memory from Slughorn. But Slughorn is like, he's constantly asking Harry Potter to hang out with him.
Yeah.
And he's like this. There's not a challenge here.
Yeah.
It's not like, I have to try and get close to Slughorn and through doing that, like I'm growing more distant from my friends, or I have to do morally compromising. I have to act like a Slytherin.
He says at the beginning...
No, like Slughorn is like, oh yeah, Harry, please be my friend.
When they meet him, they leave and Dumbledore says to Harry, he's obsessed with like celebrity and status, so he's going to gravitate towards you.
Yeah.
Shouldn't it have been, he's a crotchety old fucker, he has no friends, it's going to be impossible for you to befriend him.
He thinks that you think you're all that. You have to really convince him otherwise.
Right. But then he's like, yes, come in, Harry. You know, no, rubbish.
I will come to one of my dinner parties. Okay. Oh, good to see you, Wallaby. Like, Ron is just over there.
When he finally achieves that, when he takes the pill, and then they go to Hagrid's cabin. He gets a little bit drunk, tipsy, and he's like, "Listen, dude, I really need that memory." He sees the memory, which is meant to like lead you into the climax of the film.
Yeah.
But he takes it to Dumbledore. He's like, "Oh yeah. I've sorted one out. We're just gonna now go sort another one out arbitrarily."
Yeah.
With that knowledge having no impact on them going there. Yeah, it's terrible. The fact that Harry doesn't intervene at the end.
Yeah.
Now, in the Kermode review, I think Simon Mayo is a fan of the books. He said that in the book, he's stunned into paralysis.
Right.
So he has to just watch, which I think would have been more interesting.
Yeah.
The fact he has to be there and they're watching him watch his mentor die.
Yeah.
The sadism of it, like enjoying his pain as he watches it.
I imagine maybe the thing that you're supposed to get from that scene is Snape turns up.
Yeah.
And you're obviously like, oh, Snape, he'll intervene. He won't let Dumbledore die.
I guess.
So that when he does actually kill Dumbledore, it's like a shock.
Yeah.
But you can still have that shocking moment where like Snape turns up and Harry is like, oh, Snape, or whatever. Like, oh, Dumbledore's about to be... And then Snape goes, stupefy, or whatever he does. Stunning Harry.
Yeah.
That's your shocking moment.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why they took that out.
Because, I mean, I'm sure... I don't know if the fangirls will bite my head off for agreement. The central quality of Harry Potter is his bravery, isn't it? I would say to the point where overrides logic.
If he suspects Dumbledore is going to be killed...
He would just go up and do something.
Yeah.
He absolutely would. That is Harry Potter.
Especially since he was sensing, as indeed everybody was, sensing hesitation from Draco Malfoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like Hermione, I don't really know what Ron... like with Star Trek, the whole... The Freudian thing of that show is you've got not really Freudian, but the construct of that is you've got Kirk in the middle, Spock who's pure logic, and Bones who's pure emotion, and then they mediate Kirk.
Yeah,
he has both hemispheres.
Yeah,
Ron, I guess, neutralizes Harry a little bit because he's so dumb.
I guess,
and Hermione is the logic. So Harry is tempered by her. So yeah, if he was on his own, he would just launch into action. Like in the last film, he's like, I'm just going to lure Voldemort to come after me.
Yeah.
Like there's no thinking to that. It's just, So it's kind of a travesty that he doesn't do anything.
Also the fact that I think Bellatrix is in that room, right?
Yeah.
With Dumbledore.
Who killed his godfather.
The fucking bitch that killed the last family that I had.
Yeah.
I'm going to get her now.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I guess I'll save Dumbledore in the process, but I'm after you.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's it, really. It's a film too many.
Yeah, like, especially after that ending in the Ministry, where, like, Voldemort raided the home of the government, and the government finally admitted his existence.
He's back.
He's back.
Yeah.
Leading into the finale, everyone is now against Voldemort, and Voldemort is against everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, no, there's also this film where, like, Snape is, like, he might be evil, and, like, Dumbledore is looking for shit. Like, again, like, it's unfair.
Yeah, it's unfair. They had to make it. But yeah, it is true. Like, you ended... He's back. Okay, that's the springboard into Voldemort. The secret's out. He no longer has to work from the shadows.
Yeah.
He's now destroying bridges. And he's full-scale terrorist attacks.
Yeah. And, like, the only thing this film really contributes is, Snape is seemingly a full-blown villain now. And we know of the existence of Horcruxes, and obviously Dumbledore gets killed at the end as well.
Yeah.
All stuff that couldn't be achieved if you rolled Phoenix and Half-Blood Prince into one.
I like Horcruxes. Obviously, 2 have already been sorted out. Yeah. There's 1 at the end of Half-Blood Prince. Yeah. Part 1 deals principally with it, and then there's like 1 or 2 in Part 2.
Yeah.
No, you've got to really condense a lot of that together.
Yeah.
Don't spread that across, especially when it's 1, just for the sake of an exciting sequence at the end. You know what I mean? Yeah. No, not good.
No.
Is that it?
Yes.
Okay.
There are many things wrong with it.
There are, but we've said it's terrible.
We've said it's terrible.
That covers it.
And I don't think that's a controversial opinion, right?
It is.
Oh, is it?
I don't know amongst viewers, but on the lists of rankings, it's always near the top.
That makes no fucking sense.
It makes no sense. No.
Is it? I don't know. Is it just like, oh, this is a mature Harry Potter film? Ooh.
So they all are, really, after Azkaban.
Yeah.
Mature doesn't have to mean boring.
No, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1.
Yes.
The good things.
Okay.
Was better looking.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Back to a healthy, I can look at it. That's nice.
Yeah.
The characterization is really good. Like the interpersonal dynamics of that central three.
This is a great film if you want more time of just like Ron, Harry, and Hermione together.
Which makes sense for the penultimate installment.
Yeah. The final installment, given that you're splitting the finale into 2 parts.
Yeah.
I kind of like the idea that the first half is mainly just character work.
Yeah.
With the central 3. Mm-hmm. And then the ending is just a big blowout cathartic finale.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You get that calm before the storm.
Yeah.
And I think it's well done. Like, yeah, Ron is a bit jealous of the intimacy that Harry has with Hermione. Obviously being manipulated a little bit by the thing.
Yeah.
And Harry's like, oh, for fuck's sake. Like, you knew what this was going to be. It just feels like a genuine argument.
Yeah, given that, like, at the end of a couple of the films, he's constantly saying to Ron and Hermione, don't come with me.
Yeah.
This is mortal peril you'd be putting yourselves in. And they're like, dude, we're with you all the way.
Yes.
So the fact that, again, though Ron is being manipulated by dark forces, the fact that he's realizing just the struggle. Yeah. The turmoil that they're going through. Harry's like, I warned you.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You know?
You knew you knew what it was going to be like.
Yeah.
So that's really good. The triumph and death of Dobby. Has no master. What's he say to her? He has like a really cool line before they disapparate or whatever it is.
Oh no, don't do that to me.
Oh, I don't know.
No.
Because he does say that. He does say like, Dobby is a free elf or something like
Dobby
that.
has no master.
Yeah. Was it? Dobby was only hoping to seriously maim or injure. Yeah, love that.
Yeah, killing Dobby, he was the right character to kill.
He was the right character to kill because he's someone that in the grand scheme of things hasn't really been that important.
No.
But is a fan favourite and is goofy.
He's a silly character.
He's the right character to kill, and it's good that it hits.
Yeah.
It does hit. It's not like, look at this, it's just the elf dead.
Yeah.
No, it does actually, it's bleak. Like when they end up on the coast and they've got like, obviously he is a CG character, but they've got like the wind blowing through his hair. It just looks like this elf carcass.
Yeah.
This dead thing.
Yeah.
You know, really good. And his eyes are open and it's like, oh, fucking hell, not Dobby. And I love his last line is lovely, isn't it? Such a beautiful place to be with friends. Really, really, really good.
Dobby?
Yeah.
No.
Dobster. No. Yeah. It is just a bit of meat that's dead at that point. I really like that.
Yeah. And just Harry's like, I want to bury him without magic.
Yes.
It's like, oh shit, this is really...
Yeah. The final shot is great, propelling you into the...
Yeah, Voldemort getting the Elder Wand. I really like the animation of that little exposition scene.
The Deathly Hallows animation.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
I don't know if I would watch a film of that.
No, it was the right amount.
Yeah.
That was just the right amount.
Yeah.
The set pieces are good. The flying at the beginning with all the Harrys, the Ministry, infiltrating the Ministry.
My memory, you'll have to tell me if you, it's a similar thing with you. My memory of Deathly Hallows Part 1 is they're just kind of wandering around a forest for most of it.
I think I always described it as it's Twilight Harry Potter. Yeah. It's them just in forests.
Yeah.
And just being moody and sulky and...
Yes, exactly. It's like, this is, ultimately this is inconsequential. Yeah. All of the good stuff's in the second part. Why didn't you just make it one thing?
And I think, so pretty much every list that I read, this was the worst one. This was ranked as the worst one.
It was our worst one as well.
It was our worst one. I think part of that is that it's a preamble. It is part 1, and you want to see part 2.
You want to see them kill Voldemort, and you want to see like him get revenge on Bellatrix and all that. Yeah.
And I wonder how many of those reviews were written near the time without the best. I mean, it was a well-reviewed film, but it's still considered the worst. In hindsight, I don't know how many of them were written with hindsight. Going back to it now, it's just another Harry Potter film. Because our opinions went way, way, way up.
I was really surprised. Yeah. This was the other big surprise. Yes. The fact that Goblet of Fire plummeted and this one really rose through the ranks.
Absolutely. The palpable dread I love throughout the film.
It's dripping in that. Yeah. And like when they do start wandering around the forest, I like that they dedicate time to them searching the Horcruxes. It really helps like establish the atmosphere. Yeah. And it gives time for the character stuff to breathe. It does go on a bit too long.
It does.
There is a bit too much of that. And they do front load the film with action, I think, to compensate for the fact that it's mainly pure character work in the second
This
part.
is the thing. We said at the beginning all of them are too long. This is the one where you feel it the most, because I think it's the only one, well, maybe not the only one, but especially after Half-Blood Prince, had they trimmed it, it would have really elevated the film.
Yeah.
It would have made it, it would have added a star, like, or at least half a star.
Yeah.
Whereas Half-Blood Prince was just kind of rotten from the inside out.
Yes.
You couldn't really do much to that.
Yeah.
This just cut off like 20 minutes. And yeah, you would have had a really, really, really good film.
Yeah. And it's fun stuff as well. Like, they have to infiltrate the ministry, you know, under the influence of Polyjuice Potion, and they have to. Yeah. There's that exciting chase sequence at the very beginning where all of them are Harrys and the Death Eaters are attacking them. It's like, oh, this is more. There's more going on. Than I thought.
And like when there's humor, it works because it's not in the context of that go cut your wrist visuals.
Yeah.
You know, it's. Like with Ron with that guy's wife. That's funny.
Yeah.
You know, that is genuinely
that weird
funny.
little arc where he's like, oh, my wife's in trouble.
Yeah.
She's not your wife, Ron. Oh, yeah.
He just really like becomes that guy.
Yeah, as Dave coaches.
Dave coaches, yeah. Bill Nye, brilliant.
Harry
Potter. Peter Mullen. Like, I don't know why he doesn't play more villains.
Just his voice alone is so menacing.
He's a villain.
Like, I know that he is like the good guy in Tyrannosaur.
If you like.
If there is...
He's certainly the flawed guy.
I suppose if there's a good guy, it's Olivia Colman. But like...
Yeah, the film does start with him kicking a dog to death.
That's the thing. Like, he's a nasty piece of work in Tyrannosaur. And you do...
But he's not Eddie Marzan,
He's not Eddie Marzan. Yeah. And you're intimidated by him. Even though he ultimately becomes a force that you...
Yeah, you don't want to spend... You wouldn't want to be in a room with him.
No,
like,
absolutely
stay away
not.
from that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, like him as a Death Eater, perfect.
Yeah, perfect. Not in it enough.
No,
not in it.
And
enough.
It's sort of, I wasn't. In hindsight, he's obviously supposed to die when they escape the ministry, right?
Yeah.
The flu powder.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, like a piece of him gets caught in the thing.
Yeah, it just kind of it stitches him across time. And yeah.
Which is disappointing because there's not enough of him. But I also don't think it was that clear.
No, I didn't know he was dead.
Yeah.
I was annoyed he didn't show up in part 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like when Ron, he gets like dishonored or whatever the fuck it's called. When
Snilched.
Yeah, snickered.
Yeah.
When these, like his arm gets all fucked up with the flu powder because like, I think the process, whatever the name of it is, it's like, a piece of you gets left behind or something.
Yeah.
And like we were reading the article for it and it was like, oh yes, these injuries are fatal, but they can usually be healed.
Yeah.
And just like Hermione's just like, oh, Ron, his arm's all fucked up. Oh, just do this and he's fine.
Splinched,
I think it was
Splinched.
it.
Yeah, okay. Yes.
I had a slight, like, they should be getting hurt in their final adventure.
Yeah.
They should be taking a toll.
There should be cost. Yeah.
There should be cost.
Yeah.
Ron basically getting his arm repaired that quickly, that was a bit too much for me.
I know. Yeah, I agree. But is Dobby not enough?
I suppose. Yeah, Bellatrix. Like she doesn't have a massive body count, but she knows.
Yeah, she knows who to pick.
She knows who to pick. Yeah.
Well, okay. So the thing about it's front loaded. I don't know how they were produced. Whether it was like going into it, right? It's a lot of stuff. We're going to break it into 2 films. But I think it probably was intended to be one, and they just thought there's way too much. We're going to just cut it in half, basically. Because yes, if you look at it this way, it's one film. You start off with all the exciting set pieces. The second act is we spend time with the characters, and then we're into the final big bag boom blah blah. You know, it makes sense. So when you bifurcate it, it does just look like a half and half kind of film. I guess we'll talk about it when we get to part 2. But I would have preferred one big 3-hour get to the end.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Blowout sort of thing.
Yeah.
Not a 4-hour film. As you know, if it's a choice between a 4-hour film and 2-hour films, the latter. But no, one epic final chapter would have been preferable.
Which feels something about that feels correct. You know?
Yeah.
Like every Harry Potter film is like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, 2.25 hours. The final one is the longest. It's 3 hours.
Yeah, especially if it's them looking for Horcruxes. Like it would justify its runtime. Something I've been conscious of recently, and it's from Kermode. I think it was for the film 4 Christmases.
Okay.
So the problem with calling your film 4 Christmases is if the audience isn't enjoying it, they're thinking, I've got 3 more Christmases to get through. In 4 Weddings and a Funeral, that's a rare exception where you do enjoy all of it. So there is a danger with going, okay, we have to destroy 5 Horcruxes. And then if you're bored, like, oh God, there's 3 more Horcruxes.
Yeah.
That is a danger, but still, I think it would have worked for these two films.
Yes.
Be one big.
No, I do agree with you there.
It can't help but feel like a preamble.
It can't.
And it is front-loaded. But I think the thing that we liked maybe most about it was they were using everything.
Yeah, that was really nice. That it felt like the finale to the franchise.
Yeah.
There's so much. They reference so much.
As they should.
As they should, but also, it doesn't feel like we're just referencing this thing because.
It's not Endgame where it's a victory lap.
Yeah.
It's not fan service. Like, oh, look, remember Moaning Myrtle? Yeah, it is all... It's used to effect.
Yeah, and it's... Yeah, like that scene with Dolores, it could just be like, oh, like in the industry, in the ministry, they kind of just pass her in the corridor or something.
Yeah.
Like, no, she's the villain of that sequence.
Yes.
Like, it's woven into the story. It makes sense, everything that they're doing. That was a nice surprise. To see a film put so much into itself.
And at this point, I mean, they knew people were going to see it, but like making no apologies about making no concessions.
Oh, yeah.
Like, are you really going to start with part 7, part 1? We're not going to explain anything to you. Like, we're just going to crack on.
It opens with Hermione wiping her parents' memory.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we are into this now.
Do you know, after Half-Blood Prince, we had that opening sequence where you see the three of them outside their homes pondering the enormity of the thing. I was like, it's already better.
Yeah.
It's already better.
Yeah, nothing's happened yet.
Although, because I thought they turned up in part 2, which they didn't. It would have been nice to have a more final finale with the Dursleys.
Yeah, the fact that they just kind of leave. And they're just like, oh, it's not safe here anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, I would have thought, like, Harry Potter turfing you out of your own home, you'd be a bit annoyed.
Now, I remember for a fact that is in the book. They have a farewell scene sort of thing.
Okay.
But at least like a fuck you or a something.
Yeah.
Either
just have like a little moment where Vernon is saying goodbye to him and there's this implied like, we were bad to you, we know.
Yeah, like sorry, basically.
Yeah. Or double down on it. Just like, fuck you, Harry.
Yeah, they really are.
You've ruined our lives.
Yeah, do something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess they just thought they couldn't work out how to the right balance to strike. But it is bittersweet because it is like the end of childhood, isn't it? Like his childhood is defined by the boy in the cupboard under the stairs.
Yeah.
And that's over now. They're going. And like, there's got to be something, especially if you're watching all of them as we did. It's not just the film. It is also the final, part of this massive franchise. And it's, again, we'll come back to it with part 2, but with like, when people start dying, and it's like, but they were such a massive part of like Prisoner of Azkaban. And so that is a shame. But I think that's it for part 1.
I think so.
Yeah.
I just want to re-highlight just how much this went up in my...
How much of a pleasant surprise it was.
How much it went up in my estimations.
Okay. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2.
We're here.
We did it. We're at the end.
We've almost did it.
We've almost did it. The good things. Now, this is the only one where I kept notes as we were watching it. So
all of your notes were sort of in retrospect, yeah.
So, the good stuff. McGonagall gets her moment to shine.
Yes.
We like that.
Yes.
Not necessarily that I've always wanted to do that spell. I didn't love that, but I like that she stands between Snape and Harry. Like, good for you, Minerva.
And she sends him packing.
She does.
There's no Snape's like overpowering her, and she fucking like she sends him packing.
She does. He flies through the window to get away.
Yeah,
and I get the return of Harry is what galvanized her into that, but it does make you think, why didn't you do this before?
Yeah.
Like, for God's sake, woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. It's good to see you, Potter. Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah.
Good visuals, obviously, at this point,
Yeah, there is it's far removed from Chamber of Secrets where if it's physical, they'll do it physically.
Yeah.
There's a lot of CG in this.
A lot.
I can't begrudge it too much just because of how much there is.
Yeah.
But you do, like, when you've got, like, the golems or whatever they are coming out of... No. They coming out of the wall and like guarding the bridge. Or,
right, yeah.
It's like I said, the CG Chamber of Secrets and Room of Requirements. Like I kind of miss when this stuff was physical.
I understand that, but I would just counter that by the visuals are the CG is so seamless with certain things, like Voldemort, which is it's partly makeup, partly CG. But the close-ups on him at the end, where he's like covered in dirt and everything, it looks so real.
Yeah.
That is like, there's no effect.
I should highlight that I'm not disappointed that more things aren't practical because the CG doesn't look good.
No, it's just...
This is good CG, even like nearly 10 years on.
Yeah,
this
very
is
good
really
CG.
good CG.
Yeah.
It's just like... Yeah, it's different. It's so different now. But
and like Warwick Davis's the grip hook.
Yeah.
Like that, it was perfect.
Oh, yeah.
It just looks like a guy.
That's the other thing as well.
Yeah.
When they do practical makeup, like with grip hook, he looks great.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah.
Really, really good. There might have been some CG augmentation, but still, like really, really good. The Room of Requirement scene is pretty good.
Yes. The broom flying's a bit dodgy.
It is.
And I feel like it was better in previous films.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that they had so much to do. I can imagine, you know. But yeah, that was pretty good. Okay. The fangirls can think whatever they want.
Oh dear.
Okay? And I know everyone has their own opinion and impression they derive from the characters, and it seems like with Harry Potter there are these two side-by-side narratives. There's what the books and the film broadly want you to think, and then what the fans have conjured.
Yes.
Right? Conjured.
Okay.
Appropriately enough.
Oh.
Yes. The whole Snape thing. Like, the fans, the hardcores, seem to really not like him. Like, oh, he's not actually this redeemed thing. He's like, he bullied Neville and, you know. The films and the books want you to like Snape at the end of it.
Yeah.
Like, he's flawed, yes. He's an anti-hero. He's the central anti-hero of the franchise, isn't he?
Yeah.
But this thing of, like, you know, the big reveal, his character arc is in Microcosm in Philosopher's Stone. You think he's a bad guy, turns out he's been the one protecting him, right? And that's obviously the character arc, essentially. And, like, I'm not saying that, the reveal he was in love with Lily redeems him forever, whatever. But, like, in Prisoner of Azkaban, I pointed out, when the werewolf emerges, and Snape's like, you fucking kids.
Yeah.
And then he sees the werewolf. His instinct is to shield them, stand between them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, that's good.
And, like, when he's, like, teaching the class about werewolves.
Yeah.
Like, again, that's to protect them.
Yeah.
It's not to be like, oh, I'm going to reveal Lupin for the monster he really is. Oh, you know, intolerant Snape. It's like, no, protecting them from a fucking werewolf.
One of Rickman's highlight moments in the entire franchise. Out for a little walk in the moonlight. Brilliant. Brilliant. I love that. Yeah.
He's good.
Rickman is very good, but at his best probably in this one.
Yes.
Yeah. Just because he's given a lot to do, isn't he?
We joked, didn't we, about, like, part of the reason the film is 2 hours long, it's because of that scene where he's like in the Great Hall and he's just like, I am talking very deliberately.
Yeah.
It's just like so slow.
Yeah.
Really taking his time. It doesn't lose you though.
No.
Like I realized the gaps in the words, but it wasn't like I was being taken out of the scene or anything.
No, yeah. He's really landing, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yes, Rickman's very good. But yeah, like the things I've heard from the fan girl is that the things against Snape are, it was Neville's boggart. That's how terrible he was.
Yeah.
It's like you're reading, I think, too much into like the underlying. The text does not want you to come away with that. Now it's just like he's the scary teacher. That's what you meant to get from that.
Yeah.
It's like it doesn't point to this deep-seated terror. He's just a scary teacher.
Yeah.
Or like, what's the other one? Where he calls Hermione, do you derive some great pleasure from being an insufferable know-it-all? It's like, that's just meant to be a gag.
And also, at that point, she is an insufferable
She is an insufferable know-it-all.
Yeah.
Like, you can't deny that. He is right.
Yeah.
Maybe it's inappropriate, but he is right.
He is.
The central trio are good. Probably, maybe at their best in this one. I mean, they are at their oldest, so...
Yeah, maybe, I don't know, maybe.
They are good in Azkaban, but...
And they're good in the first part as well. And obviously they have more to do in the first part.
That is true. I like Harry Potter, the boy who lived, come to die.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah. No, there's some... Yeah. Even, like, despite the fact that this is just a massive, chaotic fight sequence from start to finish, they do have some really good beats in there.
Yes. So I think the thing I always remembered from it was after that he thinks Harry is dead and he's got his army squaring off against, the Hogwarts peeps, and he's bragging.
Yeah.
And, it's like, Harry Potter is dead. And I remember thinking that was really cartoonish and awkward and goofy. But when I go back to it now, it just doesn't have that about it. Now it's just like the glee.
He's just fucking ecstatic.
He's won.
Yeah.
He just won. The one thing holding him back is gone forever.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, you would be riding that high. Like, fucking yes. So I don't begrudge that at all.
No.
The score is very good as well. It's worth highlighting.
Yes.
I think Alexandre Desplat who does like a lot of Wes Anderson films, and yeah, he's very good.
Yeah.
That's it for the good stuff.
Okay.
Really. Yeah. Do you have anything to add for the good stuff?
Just like how cathartic it is.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't have that.
No, did you not?
That's one of my biggest problems with it. Oh. I did not have the catharsis of getting to the end of this massive franchise. And
right. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I feel rewarded now. I did not.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things that we're missing, which I'm sure we'll get into.
Yeah.
But no, I think as a conclusion, it's like, oh yeah, this is It's not bad. It's an earned. It's like one big blowout that's, I think, earned.
Okay, yeah, it's definitely earned. The fact it's one massive fight scene, and it's not a bad film at all.
No,
but I didn't get that big. And we're done. Okay. I just didn't quite get that. Okay. So the first thing to say, the first criticism, obviously, is that it should have been compressed, as we've already said. Yeah, it's just a continuation, especially that first bit where they go into the bank. It's clear you just cut the films in half.
Yeah, Dobby dying was a good way to end the film.
Yeah.
I know the final shot is actually Voldemort finding the Elder Wand, but Dobby's death is a good final, like, oh shit.
Yes.
To see out the first part. To really, like, set the bleakness and, like, the what we have to fight against.
Yeah.
But, like, the first sequence in part 2 is a bank heist.
Yeah.
We were doing all of that in the first film.
Yeah, we did this.
Especially since there's the bank heist, and then they're just in Hogwarts for the rest of the film.
That to me, that suggests that it was cut in half.
Yeah,
just the structural issues of that. That's the problem with part 1 coming first. It's easier for it to be better because you just give it a good ending, and you're sorted.
Yeah.
But then when you've got to just pick it up again, and run with it, it's more of a problem. The reveal of Harry in the common room lacked punch when they finally recur the theme. It's like, they should have used that when he reveals himself in the Great Hall or whatever.
Yeah, that was a weird reveal as well.
Yeah.
Because, like, he was just among the students.
Yeah, just, like, chilling.
And like, all of the students who are currently being told by Snape, if Harry Potter is here... I won't do the whole thing.
Yeah.
But, like, if he's here and you're, like, basically hiding him...
Yeah.
You're fucking killed. I'm gonna fucking kill you, basically.
Yeah.
Were the students who were like right next to Harry, were they just like, ooh, tee-hee? Wait until he finds out. They were just keeping Harry ready for the big reveal.
There's a missing insert where it's Harry going, shut the fuck up. Yeah. Again, so another thing that points to the difference between the actual narrative, the surtext, and the subtext that the fangirls have derived from it. We are not meant to think that Slytherins are good.
No.
The characters keep saying, oh, you know, every wizard who ever went bad. I'm doing an impression of Hagrid because he says that in the book. But it's wrong in the films, isn't it?
Okay.
He says every wizard that ever went bad was in Slytherin. As soon as he's McGonagall kind of gets the upper hand, she's like, all Slytherins, lock them in the dungeon. It's like, send them away. I can't remember who. Filch, yeah. And when he's like, oh, where? She's like, the dungeon will do. So it's even like, not only are they the most likely to give Harry up, also, fuck them.
Yeah.
They're no better than the dungeon. So we're clearly meant to think that Slytherin's the bad house.
Yeah.
But the fangirl, they have this thing of like, oh no house is bad. You could be the best character and be in Hufflepuff, even though all the good characters are in Gryffindor.
Yeah.
And all the scum are in Slytherin.
Yeah.
I'm not having it.
Well, there's that bit at the end as well where Harry's speaking to his son and he's like, his son's like, oh, what if I end up in Slytherin? And Harry's like, well, then Slytherin will have gained a great wizard.
Yes.
No. You just fucking sent them all into the dungeon. No. We don't like Slytherin.
Yeah. I know she's the house master for Gryffindor, so maybe she's got that, like, bias.
Yeah.
But no. I'm sorry. No. Slytherin is scum, clearly.
Yeah. Yeah, like, most of... Like, they all just kind of go off peacefully.
Yeah,
it's not like, oh, that's...
There's that one girl called Pansy. It was like, get him! Get him! Get him now! And then the rest just, like, glumly go, all right.
Yeah, they just kind of shuffle off like, we always get treated like this.
As we said, the Chamber of Secrets is now CG, which is a shame.
That is a real shame.
That
basilisk skeleton.
Yes.
That's a clean fucking skeleton, isn't it?
It's a clean skeleton. I like, though, that they just left it.
Yeah, no one cleaned it up.
No one, didn't send Filch down to mop it. It's just still there.
It's been down there so long that even the rotted flesh has rotted away.
To be fair, I know there's a lot of scary shit in that castle, but if they said, right, Filch, it's your job now, go down to the Chamber of Secrets and clean it up, I would be trepidatious about going down into the Chamber of Secrets, where there was once a basilisk, just in case it had basilisk babies.
Yes.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah, and I suppose they wouldn't know, but the fact that, like, the fangs, the bones of the basilisk are now infused with the power of the sword of Gryffindor.
Yeah.
Like, it's more dangerous than any other basilisk in existence.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Even so, you could have just, like, oh, we'll send Fluffy down there, he'll eat the basilisk.
Or just stand at, like, the very... Because there's that long pathway leading up to it, isn't it? Stand at the very end and just Wingardium Leviosa it to you. Like, you know.
I said that to you, didn't I? Like, there were conversations over the course of all the films, like...
Yeah, why didn't they just do the spell?
Like, how do the spells work? Like,
yeah.
Do you...
What is the tonnage capacity of Accio?
Yeah, if you go Accio Hogwarts, will all of Hogwarts come to you?
We're saying, like, Accio self-esteem. Accio sense of purpose, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, like, when the Death Eaters are looking for Harry Potter, surely they could just go Accio Harry Potter. Yeah. And he'll just come to them.
I guess people are exempt. I don't know. Are elves exempt? Accio Dobby?
I don't know. And just, like, you know, with the spells, like, are all of the spells already... Are they like elements on the periodic table where it's just like they just exist in the ether and you have to discover them?
Yeah.
Or can you come up with your own spells? Like Sectus Sempra, I think it is.
Septum Sempra,
Sectum Sempra, which is in the Half-Blood Prince book. Yeah. It's a spell that Snape...
Which basically just lacerates.
Yeah, Snape discovered it, or like he's like, how dare you use my spells against me, which implied that you can make up your own spells.
I suppose it's like elements, isn't it? You can discover what's already there.
Okay.
Basically.
Yeah.
But again, this is thinking... too much.
Yes.
I think, isn't it?
Yeah, that's fair enough.
There's something about his hair in this one particularly. Obviously, in Goblet of Fire, it's at its worst.
Oh, Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I haven't liked his hair since Prisoner of Azkaban.
Okay.
It's okay. The first two, it's a bit like, you know, nebbishy.
Yeah.
And then I like it in the third one. And after that, just never... Order of the Phoenix, it's okay. He just never get it right. He just looks like an old woman. I don't know what it is.
Well, like... There's very little in Half-Blood Prince, as we've said, that's forgivable.
Yes.
But they do make a point in, like, part 1 that, like, Hermione's cutting Harry's hair.
I know that.
So it's like, okay...
It's
like,
not good enough,
but, like, they specifically draw attention to it. Not to excuse the fact that Daniel Radcliffe has a shit haircut.
Yeah.
Just as, like, a little plot beat.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we're acknowledging that they're cutting each other's hair.
It's not a big detail, but there were moments where you're just walking through the ruins of Hogwarts and I'm thinking, I don't like your hair.
Okay. Weird little detail to pick up on.
The way Snape is killed is a contrivance for exposition.
It is. And I can see how, if you're buying into this Snape narrative, you want him to have a really brutal death. For killing Dumbledore and for being a bastard to everyone is like, Snape being basically like fucking torn up by this snake. Yeah, that's a good death for a bad character. Yeah. But yeah, Voldemort would just Avada Kedavra him.
Yeah, get over with. Yeah. You know, that's how he kills everyone, basically. Yeah. And
also he wouldn't just walk off while Snape is still alive, even if he was confident that he would not survive from his wounds. It's like, oh, I'll make sure you're dead, Severus.
Yeah, they do it just so that Harry can have a last.
Also, it's so that Harry can extract the tears to view the memories of whatever. Yeah. But yeah, like the whole point that Voldemort is killing Snape is because he believes that Snape is the owner of the Elder Wand. Yeah. And by killing Snape, Voldemort will have total control. He'll be able to harness the true power of the Elder Wand. But, so he doesn't want to kill Snape. He's doing it out of necessity. So why is he... Avada Kedavra is like a quick...
Yeah. Why is he indulging in it? Yeah.
Yeah, like you don't want Snape dead, and yet you're providing him with one of the most brutal deaths we've ever seen you bestow upon a character. Yeah. I don't know, it's just a weird choice.
That's the thing, like you say, you know, if you're buying into the Snape narrative, you want him to have a painful death. But the way it's done, there's no catharsis in it anyway. There's no like you go, yes, and then you go, oh no. It's done quite brutally and coldly, and you don't get that. It is just kind of, yeah, that's not nice. Yeah. Even for a character you're not meant to like at that point. So, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, that was a contrivance. The deaths can't help but be flippant. Yeah. That's a big problem.
I mean, that starts even in part 1, like after the Harry, like the multiple Harry sequence. Yeah. Like, oh, Mad Eye's dead.
Yeah, but especially when you end with the death of Dobby and you make it what it is. And then Lupin dies off screen and, you know, Fred, whichever one
Fred
dies off screen.
I said to you, I kind of like the idea that in the final film, a couple of, not massively important characters, but like a couple of characters that we've known for a while die...
Casually.
Almost without fanfare.
Yeah.
because it really shows the brutality of the situation that they're in. But yeah, it does feel
like I said to you, didn't I? Like, I think there's a way of doing that where it's that way in universe to the characters. People just dead.
Yeah.
But the audience can get something out of it.
Yeah.
There's a way of doing it, you know? Like, literally, just a slow motion thing of Lupin being overpowered and dying.
Yeah.
Anything would have done. Then just like, oh, I guess he's dead then. And then the thing of him and Tonks holding it, like, oh, no, don't try and, like, manipulate me now, you know? And like Hagrid, the guy that brought Harry into the world that was so prominent in the first one, he was BAFTA nominated, has 2 lines. There's Harry, no! And then Harry.
Yes. I mean, in the first one, like, he's the one who takes the true Harry to the Weasleys. And he says, isn't he, I was the person who brought you into this world. Yeah. It's only right that I protect you now.
Again, if it was one film, maybe that would be okay.
Yeah.
But it's not one film.
No. Oh yeah, why does Voldemort have him hostage?
Yeah, I don't get that at all. The only thing is, like, I can think is that they just intercepted him or something. But why don't they just murder him?
Yeah.
Just sort it out. Like, especially given he's a giant. Yeah,
because like Harry, Voldemort is like telepathically telling everybody, like, I'm going to leave you all alone now. Harry Potter, come meet me in the Forbidden Forest. If you don't, I'll kill everyone anyway.
Yeah.
And then he like cuts to, you have the scene where he like finds out Snape's true intentions and like, I said to you, didn't I, that like it's not just that they're making Snape sympathetic, they try to make Dumbledore a bit of a bastard.
By contrast,
By contrast, which I guess they're doing it to sell the idea that Snape is now a good guy.
Yeah, they need something, worse, so he can come across as sympathetic.
It is a hard sell, though, isn't it?
But that's the thing, I think it's done quite well, given that it's not actually bad. He's being a pragmatist. Really, is like, look, don't get sentimental on me.
Yeah, Snape is actually the emotional, irrational one.
Yeah, exactly.
And even though he's come across as like this cold, he's come across as the pragmatist, like the cold guy who doesn't care about you. No, he's been this emotional wreck all along.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Harry finds out that he's a Horcrux, so Voldemort has to kill him. So he goes to the Forbidden Forest, but we see it from Voldemort's perspective, where he's just standing in the forest.
Yeah, I thought he'd come.
Yeah, he's just like, I guess that didn't work then.
Downcast, downtrodden.
And then Harry does eventually turn up, and Hagrid is there in chains, like, Harry, no!
Yeah.
It's like, what, is Hagrid just a separate thing? Like,
yeah, like I said, if it was a case of... if
you weren't using him as leverage, Harry didn't know.
If he didn't show up willingly, they could have done a thing where they mind meld, you know? It's like, I've got Hagrid.
Yeah.
And even killing Hagrid, that would have been something. It would have a weight to it, you know? But no, it shows up...
Because he's big?
Because he's big, yeah. I knew you'd do that.
Yeah.
Is it ever explained how he can die and then just go back?
I don't think so. He does have the resurrection stone in his possession, but
does he?
I'm sure I see him
it's that then.
Drop it on the floor.
Okay. I don't know. If that's the case, because obviously that's been set up for a while.
Yeah.
Then I'm okay with it. But yeah, okay. Maybe we missed it.
I'm sure I saw him drop it on the floor.
Okay.
Because I think he's supposed to think the death is permanent. And if you see him holding the resurrection stone...
Yeah, well, obviously not.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm fine with Molly killing Bellatrix, but it's way too disposable.
Yeah, it's basically like a joke.
It is a joke. Yeah, get away from me, you bitch. For the 40-year-old women in the audience to go, yes, Molly, like, we are represented.
Yeah.
I just like... one of the more hideous characters... There's no nuance to her. No. She's evil. That's what she is.
Yeah.
And she's killed Sirius Black and Dobby. Just killed Dobby. We're reeling from that.
Yeah.
She tortured Neville's parents. Like, I don't need him to kill her. That would have been too clean, almost. But something. Like, some import to her death. Rather than, like, she's frozen and then disintegrated.
It's less than a minute. Where they just kind of they throw spells at each other, and then Molly freezes her and like disintegrates her.
Yeah,
it's like, okay,
done with that then.
Yeah,
and like, why? Again, I wanted to see Bellatrix die, but why did she merit it and not Lupin and not the other characters that died?
I know what you're saying.
Seeing, let's say George dies.
Yeah,
seeing Fred see George die would have been a big moment.
Yeah,
and even like there's a bit where Ron cries over his dead body, and then they're all outside to face Voldemort. And the one that's alive is just there looking just a bit like bored. Not even like, I know they're not the best actors. They probably can pull it off.
No.
But like...
He would be...
He wouldn't even be outside.
No, he would be sitting in the room next to his twin's corpse.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, who's the like dickhead Death Eater that went after Filch? Like I know Filch is a wizard. Like he'd have to be be at Hogwarts.
Yeah.
I don't know if in the books it's he was actually a muggle, but he was given special permissions or whatever. But Filch is rubbish.
But it's the equivalent of when you were doing games and you go, I'll go in defense. You don't really have to do any of the hard work.
Yeah. It's I'll go after the caretaker. It's no, he won't put up a fight.
Yeah, I know. Okay, I'll get to my biggest... It's not by no means the biggest criticism of the film.
Yeah.
It's just my personal one.
Okay.
But, so the ending, to me, they don't look older.
Okay.
I know you thought they did.
I know that's a common criticism of the ending.
Yeah.
Hermione doesn't.
She really doesn't. Ginny doesn't either, really.
I thought Ginny did.
Okay.
I thought
maybe a little bit.
I will concede none of them look 20 years older.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
They have aged them up a little bit, but not enough.
And you can't recast them. It didn't need to be them.
No.
Those three.
The final shot of the film has to be, at the very least, Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson.
And it was. That's fine.
Yes. But I don't know. It was okay. I accepted it.
You know what though?
I like Ron's gut. I like that he's got a dad bod now.
Yeah, that's good. And I like ending it. That far in the future, they're sending the kids off. That's a nice thing. And obviously, in the book, it can be more poetic because it ends with the scar had not pained him in 19 years. All was well, and that's how it ends. But the image of the three of them watching the kids go off on the train doesn't say as much to me about that franchise.
I know you're saying.
To be the final image, all right, I don't know.
Yeah.
There was a better image to end on than that. Right, my biggest problem.
Okay.
No Peter Pettigrew.
It feels like a real oversight, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know, actually, I will confess that, it wasn't until you pointed it out to me, I didn't notice his absence. But now that you've pointed it out to me, it's kind of shocking. Yeah,
because obviously he's just fallen victim to the there's too much going on problem. Okay, I understand that. And it is a personal thing. Pettigrew, he's Starscream in Transformers 2, isn't he? He's yes, master. He's that guy, the sycophantic servant.
Yeah.
Who's kind of equally berated and relied on by the master.
Yeah.
I get that. He's a comic villain. But to me, Pettigrew is the most evil character in the Harry Potter franchise.
Oh, okay.
Because he's a coward. Voldemort is scared of death.
Yeah.
And that's something that we all can intuitively understand.
Yes.
We all inherently get that.
Yes.
The fear of death. And the whole Nazi mudblood thing going on, because it's cloaked, as 'twere, in the context of magic, it doesn't have as visceral an impact as if he was going around saying, kill the N-words.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's muggles and, mudbloods and all that, it's... You get the point, but it doesn't have a visceral, guttural thing. Peter Pettigrew betrayed his friends.
Yeah.
That does have a guttural impact.
Yeah.
I hate that more than I hate the mudblood thing because of the separation, If Voldemort was going around throwing racial epithets, maybe you'd be easier to hate than Pettigrew.
Yeah.
But because Pettigrew is just a snivelling coward that betrayed his best friends... And is basically the main villain of Prisoner of Azkaban.
Yeah.
And the last we see of him is him pulling a funny face when Dobby knocks him out.
Yeah.
He needed more. Again, I know in the book he's killed by his own magical hand.
Yeah.
But I needed to see Pettigrew die. I'm sorry.
like him escaping at the end of Prisoner of Azkaban is a tragedy.
It is, yeah.
Because Sirius can't clear his name.
You just go back to that scene where Harry finds out that Sirius apparently betrayed... It's like, he was their friend and he betrayed them. I'm going to find him and I'm going to kill him.
Yeah.
And just nothing then. Pettigrew, the guy that's really directed at.
Yeah.
Is just...
And he facilitates the return of Voldemort.
Yeah, he's the guy that gets the blood from Harry and
he kills Cedric Diggory.
Yeah, he's the one... Yeah, and the old man at the beginning, isn't it?
Yeah, and he... even Voldemort is like, you brought me back out of fear, not loyalty. Even Voldemort recognises that he's a snivelling... traitorous rat.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Lucius Malfoy, I can deal with that. He is a coward and he just runs away with a family.
Yeah.
Fine. And then you get the sense, obviously, that Harry and Draco are released on okay terms. A kind of weird respect, maybe, when they're adults.
Yeah.
We're okay now.
Yeah.
And Lucius, I think Jason Isaac said his thinking is that after that, his family hate him because he's dragged them into it. So he basically just drinks himself to death. Right. That's the future for that character, isn't it? Being lonely and losing everything, whatever. But Pettigrew, nothing. I don't know what happened to Pettigrew.
No.
As far as I know, he's just knocked out in Malfoy Manor. I don't know.
Yeah, this should be a worse fate for him.
So for me, that was the biggest problem.
Yeah, because with Voldemort as well, like you were saying about like the racial tension. Yeah. Like obviously we all sympathise with not wanting, like the fear of death, not wanting to die. His methods are a bit extreme. Of course, yeah. But we understand where he's coming from, and even though it's not something that we agree with, it's not something that most people would agree with, this kind of racial purity thing that Voldemort's striving towards, there are people out there who theoretically could, like, they understand that. They would join with him. Like, it's a cause that benefits them. It's like, oh yeah, I also hate people who are lesser than us. Whereas the point was going to be with Pettigrew. Yeah. His agenda serves nobody but him. Yes, there is that. I don't think necessarily it's that Voldemort at least has some appeal. I could say. I think it's more that, you know, it's that Richard Herring joke about how you hate a racist more than you hate a misanthrope. You hate someone who hates everybody is more appealing than somebody who just hates a certain group of people. Yeah. Even though rationally that doesn't quite make sense. No. I think it's the same there. I don't have any sympathy for the blood purity thing. And so Voldemort is other. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's so other. But someone who betrays his friends, I can really understand that. Yeah. Not personally, obviously, I hope. But like, the idea of that is more... you recognise the villainy in that. Yeah, it's more repulsive to me. Yeah. Voldemort is unambiguously the most evil character in the franchise. Pettigrew is the most despicable, I think. Yeah. So, yeah, I needed to see him die a horrible death. Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. Yeah, I was kind of like, oh shit, how did they leave him out of it? Yeah. That's all I got. Okay. Yeah, anything else you'd like to add? I'm sure there's a couple of things we have forgotten. But nothing major. Nothing that I hope nothing that when we stop recording I'm going to be like, oh shit, I should have said that. Yeah. Okay, should we do our like Harry Potter wrap up then? Our general thoughts on the whole. We'll do that now. Thing. Yeah. I am as you cut me off 2 hours ago. Well, I thought it'd be nice to say now. Yeah. I'm glad we did this. As am I. Yeah. Yeah. As am I. It was nice to re-experience them. It was nice to re-experience them. We were Harry Potter fans when it was going on. Yeah. We weren't fanboys. We're not like. Loads of people are pointing out like the weird discrepancy with like women seem to really gravitate towards Harry Potter for some reason. Like we're not the ideal fanboy, fangirl. No, we're not like teenage girls in our 2020s. No. Exactly. It's not Harry Potter. Like we get it and we like it, but it's not like, oh, that's my thing. No. It was never my thing. I don't think. Well, you have that for Sonic. Yeah, but generally speaking, I don't think we have that instinct. When we don't do that to things. Yes. You know? Yeah. But it was nice to re-experience those films and to recognise, like, oh, there's some really good stuff in here. Yeah. Very quickly, can I throw one more thing into Deathly Hallows thing that I completely forgot? Oh, go on. You can keep it here, doesn't it? It would have been nice. It's a total, like, if I was doing it, what I would have done. It's not like a criticism in and of itself. It would have been nice to see Voldemort roaming Hogwarts before it was ruined. Yeah. The image of him, of Voldemort, it would have been so perverse. Him walking up and down the staircases. Yeah, him just like languishing. The staircases that like are constantly moving. Yeah, because obviously he went to school there. Yeah. And the idea of like he's returned. And like when Snape is headmaster or whatever, and he's got that school under an iron, under his thumb. Just the idea of Voldemort like on his own, with no one else around, wandering the Great Hall. Yeah. And just like fucking with things. And it would be nice. Portraits looking at him. Yeah. And he's just like, being mad. Yeah, that would be nice, especially if it's on his own, because it's like, oh, this moment's just for him. Yeah, he's savouring his supremacy. Yeah. Because like, when it's ruined, it's just ruins. Yeah. But the idea of Tom Riddle coming back to Hogwarts and just like feeling along the walls and just like, this is mine. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. I suppose I have one. I also have like a minor thing to add to Half-Blood Prince. Go on. Do you remember like the end of Philosopher's Stone when the train is leaving the station and you got Hagrid on like the train station, which has like the bridge and this luscious forestry and there's just like mountains in the background. Yeah. And then Half-Blood Prince, it's like this like wooden platform just in the middle of like this dead forest. Yeah. That for me epitomizes what's so like unappealing about the aesthetic of Half-Blood Prince. I like the first one where they
go to Gringotts, and it's basically it's a small world after all ride. It's the little tram, and they get off, and it's like 1 please, thank you, keys please. And then you've got the fucking roller coaster.
Where they're like going through waterfalls. And there's a dragon. It's like, what the fuck's going on?
Anyway.
Yeah, okay. Yes, I'm really glad that we did it. It was nice to sort of rediscover these films. And it was nice to have certain ideas reinforced, but also the fact that some of the films have changed position so radically. Yeah. It feels like, I benefited from this rewatch.
Well, yeah, not just that. It shows that, get all wanky about it, that we've grown. That it's not just you kind of pick your favourites and you stick with it. Yeah. It shows that, no, you do reevaluate and reappraise things as you get older.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I like that they're scary, for children. They are genuinely scary films. I'm glad that they exist. They are lovely films. They're like, the whole universe is really great. Yeah. It's like the amount of...
and so well realised from the off as well. Yeah. It's not like, we need a minute to sort of get used to this world. It's like, no, we're in it.
And I don't want to be too earnest, but, what it's done for kids. Like, the amount of kids worldwide that love Harry Potter, and it's great. Yeah. And they grow up. The films grow up with their audience.
Even if you didn't grow up with Harry Potter, the films grew up with Harry Potter.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think that's just a nice thing. It's nice that they did that. It's not like Harry Potter's 18 and they're still doing the Philosopher's Stone thing.
And I just think a lot of people are cynical about, again, the books. Yeah, adults reading the books, I'm a bit like, they are for kids, but I don't like the cynicism about it. It is a wonderful universe and just great entertainment, and for kids and adults after Chamber of Secrets. Yeah, and they're better than Lord of the Rings.
Oh, hello.
Let's throw that in.
Oh, dear. Okay. All right.
Better than Lord of the Rings, yeah. Pretentious. Well, not pretentious. Just indulgent wank. So, should we do our rankings?
Okay, so these are our fresh, updated rankings of the Harry Potter films.
Start with the worst or start with the best? Probably start with the best.
Yeah, because we all know what it is. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll do it. We'll tennis it. Okay?
Okay. That won't be too confusing, will it?
No.
Okay.
Okay, so the best for me is The Prisoner of Azkaban.
Well, it's the best for me as well.
Yes. I guess if you want to compare timestamp, go back, if you want to go back to our original ranking.
Okay.
The second best for me is Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix.
Okay. Mine's The Chamber of Secrets.
Okay.
I don't know, I just really like it.
Yeah, no, my third best is Chamber of Secrets.
Oh, right, okay. Oh, well, do you know what, Sam? My third best is Order of the Phoenix.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
Okay.
My fourth best is Deathly Hallows Part 1.
As is mine.
Okay. My fifth best is Deathly Hallows Part 2.
As is mine.
Okay. What's going on? We spent too much time together.
I was going to say, am I copying you? Are you copying me? What's going on?
The sixth best, or third worst, I think, appropriately at this point.
Yes.
The third worst is Goblet of Fire.
Ah, no. You see, mine is Philosopher's Stone.
Ah, okay. The second worst is Philosopher's Stone.
Oh, it's called Goblet of Fire.
And the worst, should we say it in unison on three? 1, 2, 3. Half-Blood Prince. Yeah, okay.
Yes, it remains the worst.
It does.
It's nice. The best...
Well, our worst was Part 1 originally, wasn't
it? It was, okay.
So, yeah.
But like we were in agreement the Half-Blood Prince was a dud.
Yes, and that,
and that has remained as such.
Yes.
And we were in agreement that 3 is great.
Yes.
And it's gone up a little bit for me as well.
It's gone up, yeah. It's even better than I thought it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's that.
Oh, yeah. All of that for that, I suppose.
Yes. That's that.
Goblet of Fire and Deathly Hallows Part 1 were the biggest surprises.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah, I was so shocked. I know I've said it before, but like Goblet of Fire just went...
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's just because it was on the heels of...
Maybe that a little bit of that, but I don't know. It was such a... Going from that, where everything was wondrous, and then everything was just bugging me. It just kept turning like, they're winding me up.
Yeah.
They're winding me up. I don't know what it is.
That is interesting, though, that the two films that changed the most for us came after the best and the worst. So like the fourth film came after the third, which is the best, and it went way down in our estimations. And 7 Part 1 came after the sixth film, which is the worst one, and that went up in our estimations.
Maybe there's something to be said for that. I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe I'm just trying to find patterns again.
Oh, here we go. Let's stop it now, shall we? Let's stop. Okay. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. So, yeah, if you want to, like, Harry Potter.
Yeah, everyone likes Harry Potter.
Yeah, it's all right.
Don't begrudge us doing this.
No.
All right? We never have to talk about it ever again.
No.
Okay. Bye then, I guess.
I suppose.
See you next time.
Ta-ra.
Bye.
Bye.